Welcome back, everybody. We're at Municipal Stadium here on the outskirts of Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Larry Kelly Field. Stadium seats right around 10,000. A lot of blue clad St. Francis boosters below us. And on the other side, the Reinhardt Eagles. Well, let's take a look. 2 weeks ago, it was a slugfest for the top-ranked Cougars against number 3 Morningside. USF appeared to have an easy path as they quickly opened up a 19-3 lead behind a pair of Nick Ferrer touchdown passes and the first of 3 rushing touchdowns by Justin Green. But the Mustangs, they would rally to overtake St. Francis 20-25 early in the fourth quarter. And it would take 2 more Green sprints to the end zone, including one of 61 yards, plus a Stan Jackson pick-6 touchdown return for USF to punch its ticket to Daytona Beach. Green finished, by the way, 333 all-purpose yards 2 weeks ago. 33 carries for 234 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ferrer was 19 of 31 through the air for 267, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. And as far as Sean Boswell, he led the Cougars with 7 catches, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. And let's take a look at the Cougar D. Defensive back Lee Stewart
now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
led with 13 tackles 2 weeks ago, 1 for loss. Pearson Harnish had 11 tackles, 3 quarterback hurries. And James Jamisich with 5 tackles, 2 for loss, and 1 quarterback hurry. Well, the co-captains coming out on the field. Lee Stewart, Spencer Coward, Sean Boswell, Eric Hemmelgarn, and Zach Gigner getting ready to go out and represent the Cougars. Vince Hayes, our referee tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the St. Francis Cougars.
So if not, now the rest of the teams, both teams coming out on the field. And here come the co-captains to midfield. And let's go down to Sean McBride here as the teams will shake hands. And we'll get ready for our referee to introduce everybody. Vince Hayes.
Ladies and gentlemen, starting off for the Cougars is Andrew Cook, sponsor Brown and Miss 2017, Megan Washington. Andrew is an account executive of Brown Insurance with 75 years of continuous service. Brown is one of the most respected.
The NAIA was saying the trophy failed. When's your call? Call is failed. Mr. Coach, set the coin, please.
I think we're having problems with our pickup from midfield. Reinhardt, the visitors, will and we'll see if Sean get a little closer. We're able to pick him up.
They will receive.
Joe, hopefully you got me here. The Cougars have actually won the toss. This is a good omen. Throughout the playoffs, they have done so. So the Cougars won the toss. They have elected to receive. The atmosphere down here is electric.
Well, we had them for a moment, but the Cougars will get the ball when we return. We'll be back with opening kickoff. It's the Cougars and the Eagles for all the marbles here tonight in Florida. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. brought to you by the University of St. Francis, located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. USF is a private Catholic university enrolling students on campus and online. With over 70 programs from undergrad to doctoral degrees, a USF education has a lot to offer. Check out the University of St. Francis today at sf.edu. That's sf.edu. Go Cougars! And we are about ready to get this one underway. Reinhardt kicking away from right to left. And here comes Marquez with a kick deep end over in. Green is taking a look at it. It'll kick into the end zone out of bounds. It'll be a touchback, and USF will have first possession at the Cougar 25-yard line. Green, with all he does, 16 kickoff returns coming into the ball game. He's got 2 kickoff return touchdowns, a long of 96. That one, no chance. As we get ready for playoff football here tonight in the dark at Daytona Beach, Florida. John McBride with us, and we're hoping to have the judge Phil Houck with us at halftime, chatting with Coach Kevin Donley. And here come the Cougars up to the line of scrimmage, working from left to right. Out of the pistol, here is Ferrer, looks to hand to Green. Green cuts left side and spins, backpedals off a tackle across the 25, got up to the 28.
A little bread and butter counter there, Joe, that Green has found successful all year long. And then what they're going to try and do is continue to work that throughout the night and then try and get him an opportunity to break away. We've seen him do that throughout the entire year.
You know, and this is the third game against Reinhardt, and Green in the previous 2 games, Sean, has scored 3 rushing touchdowns in each of the previous 2. Last year he had 20 carries in Georgia for 176 yards and the 3 rushing touchdowns. Second down and 7. Cougars working from the left side hash mark. Here's Ferrer. Play action fake. Wants to throw. Left side's got to catch short of the first down, though. Reaching for it, but I believe it'll be just short. And it'll bring up a third down call coming up. That was Zach Gegner with the catch. Kind of slipped when he tried to make a little pivot move after the catch. And that'll bring up third down and 2.
Conditions down there are just fantastic, very cool and crisp. The wind really not a factor so far, Joe, but it's a great night for football. The atmosphere is absolutely electric on the field.
Cougars on third downs are 50% on the year. That's third best among all NAIA football teams. Ferrer wants to throw. Looks, checks off, and now scrambles to his left, running, dives for the first down. He's got it, I believe. Well, you don't see that often. Nick Ferrer on a scramble, and picking up the first down.
You took the words right out of my mouth. How often have we heard or seen Nick Ferrer get in trouble back there in the pocket or with a very quick late second release to get that first down? This time he does it by himself with his legs, and they move the chains.
Cougar offensive line, they've gone all the way this year, basically. Connor Holcomb at center, Austin Smoger and Jalen Gamble at guards, Nick Shoemaker and Alex Woods at the tackles. They average 270 man tackle to tackle. Here's a ball fumbled away. That's picked up and it's recovered. And it's still loose down on the field. Let's see who's got it. Vince Hayes will let us know, and let's see if USF was able to get on top of it back around the 21.
No indication yet there as the officials are talking about it.
That was Kareem Warren that came in there.
A Cougar did end up with the ball.
Tevin McCoy, I think, picked it up, but USF does get it back after a big loss.
Yeah, that's a huge tackle for loss, but I think Holcomb, number 60, was the Cougar to come up with it. And
fumbled, recovered by St. Francis. It'll be first down, fumble recovery, St. Francis.
They're going to call that a change of possession, I believe, Sean.
Yep.
So it will be re-recovered, if you will, by St. Francis and a first down.
Yeah, that'll count as a almost an offensive drive there for Reinhardt. A change of possession, and so again, 1st and 10 coming up for the Cougars. Looks at the 22-yard line.
Rocky James is in. He's wide to the left side. They come up and press coverage on him. Shotgun formation now for Ferrer. Looks, hand play action fake. Wanting to throw again. A lot of time in the pocket now. Gives ground and has to throw it away. And that one near side. You always worried it did get across the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up second down and 10. And Kevin Donley talked in the pregame about the speed on the edge by Reinhardt. That's a big factor here tonight.
They've got it. Again, that was a sack, an incomplete pass based on the defensive backs in great coverage. Reinhardt came to play. They're a very athletic, very fast team, and Nick Ferrer is really going to, he's going to have to pick a point.
Reinhardt dropping 2 safeties back now on 2nd down and 10. 2 wide to the right side for Ferrer. Now they show blitz coming right side. And here is a run. Here's Green. Green, middle of the field. And all the way up to the 29-yard line. He's trapped up by a couple of defenders. And if he's able to squirt through there, he's got a chance to take it to the house.
Yeah, the safety squeezed him on that one. And that was the last line of defense for Reinhardt. So they were able to bring him down. But a nice quick run. And 3rd and manageable now for the Cougars.
Cougars looking at 3rd down and a long 2, trying to get the ball up to their own 32-yard line. James stays in wide to the left. Duke Blackwell now comes up in the slot to the left side. And 2 wide to the right. Spread offense for USF. And Ferrer out of the gun with Green. Now the Rixey comes in motion. And here is Ferrer looking, throws over the middle, and that one high and incomplete. Looking for Blackwell at about the 41-yard line, but it'll be a 4th down call, and here comes Neperon to punt the ball away, so USF will have to give up the football here early with 12:05 remaining in this first quarter.
Yeah, that was a tough call. Blackwell was in triple coverage over the middle there as he was dragging across, and Ferrer just kind of tried to force it through there and was not successful, so the punt team comes on.
Nipper this year averaging 36 yards a punt. He's got a long of 67. He's had 1 punt blocked. 10 men up at the line of scrimmage for the Eagles. And Nipper, the rush is coming. Kick is away. Wobbly ball. That'll come down, and it's a free ball. And St. Francis has got it at the 30-yard line of Reinhardt. That ball was dying, and the punt returner man could not locate it. His momentum was carrying him backwards away from the ball.
Ryan Johnson, number 21, with a spectacular recovery that time. Doing a great job on special teams. You know, it's an interesting fact here that Reinhardt, a run-heavy squad, they've got a lot of troubles in that department, Joe. They've lost 29 fumbles this year and recovered 15 of them. So the ball is slippery for the Eagles, and that time it proved to be a great turn of events for the Cougars.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. Even with the win 2 weeks ago, they were -3 in turnovers margin against Southern Oregon, yet they won that ball game. So the Cougars now with the biggest break early in the game at the 30. Again, the blitz coming defensive right side, and here's Ferrer spun around and dropped, and he did not pick up that blitz at all. Lost back around the 40-yard line.
Backside pressure that time and caught Ferrer trying to scramble out of it. Green was back there as a protector, tried to get around to the backside edge and couldn't make the block, and he gets taken down for looks to be about a 9-yard sack.
So it'll be 2nd down. Clock at 11:30, time remaining in the first quarter. Cougars recovering the muff punt. And James in wide to the left side. Not going to have a lot of time against the Eagles here with plays. Again, they show blitz out of the secondary. Here's Ferrer looking. He has protection. Throws near side, and there's a ball high and incomplete. Good coverage that time. Taylor Hawkins had the coverage on Dan Rixey. It'll be a 3rd down call coming up with the Cougars trying to reach the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Hawkins is one of the standouts on defense for the Reinhardt Eagles. And he had a good job, took a break on the ball, nearly got his hands on it, but it was just incomplete.
Has the co-lead in interceptions with 4 coming into tonight's ball game. The Eagles with 19 picks this year. 3rd down and long. As Ferrer looking to make a play now. Looks, gives to Green, and they wrap up on him back around the 43-yard line.
I think they blew that one dead, Joe.
Let's see. Reinhardt may take the play, though, unless the whistle blew, because if they've got an option.
19 offense. 5 yards, the player down.
So the penalty is enforced. That'll take the ball back to the Reinhardt 44-yard line. But it'll be 3rd down and even longer, 3rd and 24 now. And the Cougars would love to get Gavin Gardner at least a shot, maybe at an early field goal to grab the early lead. But again, Ferrer not having a lot of time back there. Shotgun formation once again, Rixey in motion. And here is Ferrer, steps up the pocket, dumps it off. He's got Rixey at the 40. Cuts to the 35 and knocked down right about the 34-yard line. Interesting decision now for Kevin Donley. That's a long. You look at Gavin Gardner, 7 of 11 in field goal attempts this year.
This would be a 51-yarder?
Don't think they're going to try that.
No.
Especially not sure about Gavin Gardner's leg. And the Cougars ready to go work again on 4th down. Stepping up, here's Ferrer, throws over the middle, looking there. Boswell, he's got the catch at the 10-yard line.
We talked about it. Boswell early on, he's going to have a big game. And there he was, deep in the middle of that zone. He's having some trouble getting up right now. He did take a shot.
Yeah, came down awkwardly, rolls over on his back now.
But it will be a first down for the Cougars at the 10.
But we are going to have an injury timeout with 10:28 remaining in this opening quarter. We have no score. The Cougars will have it 1st and goal right around the Reinhardt 10 when we return. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Forward Scholarship is created especially for students
Media
in
timeout.
their community. Incoming USF applicants are eligible for awards
We would like to thank our community partners in bringing you tonight's game. The city of Daytona
your
Beach
good
is
deeds
going to
into
be
our college education. Learn more at admissions.sf.edu.
Well, Sean Bodwell is on his feet, but limping noticeably, and that is not good news. Remember, now he's trying to, I tell you what, he is a tough fella.
He shakes off the support and he says, I got this. He's limping, but he's not getting any help from the training staff right now coming off the field. And, yeah, this is the kind of guy that puts nails in his Wheaties just to tighten things up. And boy, he is just tough as nails.
So you look at Boswell, 7 catches 2 weeks ago against Morningside, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he leads the Cougars. That was his 74th of the year.
And a big one.
And that puts him over 1,000 receiving yards for the season as well, and hopefully he is able to come back in.
That'll set him up 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line there too, Joe. So that was a key throw and a great reception by Sean Boswell. Let's hope he sees the field again.
I believe we're in a media timeout.
Joe, while we have these just a couple minutes here, we'll talk about some of our friends that have helped us throughout the years. Of course, Pete Henry over at H&L Electric. H&L Electric is your full-service electrical contractor. From commercial and industrial to residential work, H&L Electric can handle the smallest to the largest of projects for your business or residence. Call Pete Henry and his team at H&L Electric.
Well, the Cougars trying to cash in on that fumble of the punt muff. Started at the 30-yard line, and then they proceeded to go backwards again as Reinhardt, very stout defense. And by the way, some of their numbers coming in scoring defense, the Eagles giving up just under 14 points a ball game. That's #1 in all of NAIA football. And in rushing defense, they're also #1, giving up just under 67 yards a game to opponents. Will Chrisman comes into the ball game now. Gegner stays in. They are wide to the left. That's the short side of the field. 2 wide to the right. Green, the running back, offset to the left. And the pitch comes left side. Here's Green. Turns the corner. And the chop down as he cartwheels his way down close to the 5. They're going to mark the knee right at the 5-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 by Green.
Yeah, doing a fine job getting your playmaker in space. Hope he gets a block or 2 out front. That's really all you need is a nice 4.5 yard gainer that time. Do it a couple times and you're into the paint. So let's see what they can do here.
And Sean, I like that quick pitch to the left side. We haven't seen a lot of that to Green this season.
Right.
Chris Smith now will come into the ball game. And the Cougars also bringing in some beef on the goal line. And I believe that's, I'm not sure. Well, Chris Smith is 44, 91. They had a numbers change, I believe. There's motion on the left side. Green off tackle and knifing in there. That was Kareem Warren, redshirt freshman at 320 pounds. Tell you what, for a big boy, he is lightning quick. He had 3.5 tackles, 1 for loss 2 weeks ago against Southern Oregon.
The only thing faster than that, 300 pounds, would be a car. I mean, he just really shot in from his DN position right there and got some backside pressure and took the legs right out underneath the running back.
0 to 60 right now.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Very impressive.
So it'll be 3rd down and goal. The ball still at the 5-yard line. Rixey splits wide to the right side. Other than that, fairly tight formation. Shotgun formation, Blackwell in motion. Here's Burrow wanting to throw. Rush is coming. He's got to throw to the left corner of the end zone. A high ball and no chance for that. There was contact out there intended for Gagner, but it'll bring up 4th down, and let's see if the Cougars will bring the field goal team on and trying to take an early 3-0 lead.
Well, and again, this is why Boswell's catch was so very important. They were outside of field goal range. They went forward on 4th down. Boswell came up with a huge catch and put them in a position to get points on the board.
This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt from the left side hash mark. Gardner back in there. Missed a lot of 2 weeks ago. Here's the right-footed kick on the way long enough, and it is good. So 22 yards on the field goal at the 8:48 mark, and the Cougars manage points off the fumble recovery, and they will take a 3-0 lead. We have a timeout here at Municipal Stadium in Daytona Beach, Florida. Cougars trying to go 2 for 2 in national championship victories. We'll be back. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
A clean office space. Okay, that's an easy choice. And choosing the right company to clean your business is easy too. Sioka's Professional Cleaning is the choice of a lot of Fort Wayne companies because of the 100% satisfaction guarantee. Sioka's does it with built-in check systems to make sure your business is clean beyond your expectations every time. First impressions are critical, so make sure yours is always the best with professional cleaning from Sioka's. The best people, the best service. 483-2112 or online at siokas.com.
Programming on Redeemer Radio is underwritten in part by Bob Busher Homes. Floor plan customization is what they specialize in. Find floor plans, building sites, and read Bob's story on the web at bobbusherhomes.com. Bob Busher Homes is locally owned with offices in Fort Wayne and Angola. For more information about new home building or remodeling, Bob Busher Homes can be reached at 260-490-3355.
3-0 USF in the early lead here. And boy, I tell you what, Sean McBride, nothing has come easy for St. Francis on the offensive side of things.
It's an impressive defense, Joe. They are very, very fast, and I think that was really, in a very large way, a good victory for the Reinhardt defense to keep St. Francis out of the end zone to score a touchdown. Again, St. Francis had it 1st and goal from the 10-yard line and had to settle for a field goal. Now, interestingly enough, what we've seen in the playoffs here is that when St. Francis wins that toss, they want the ball because they want to get up early on their opponents and then let their defense handle things. So what will be another interesting aspect when we look at this Reinhardt offense, they're somewhat different. Well, I want to say quite a bit different than USF and maybe some of the other teams that USF has faced this year. And we can talk about that after the kickoff here.
I hasten to remind you, a year ago, it was Baker that had the opening drive, and St. Francis held them to an early 3-0 field goal. And, of course, we know how it all ended with St. Francis winning the national title, but let's hope it's not a little bit of reverse deja vu.
Right. Now, interestingly enough, too, that drive, 8:48 left here in the first quarter. So I like the amount of time that it took.
Otis Odom is back in kick return. He had 5 kick returns 2 weeks ago against Southern Oregon, a long of 50. He's got a long of 73 this year. Comes the kick near side. Odom backing up. He's got it inside the 10, fumbles the ball, picks it up, works 15-20, and they will be short of the 25-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 24. Reinhardt will have their first possession of the football, 1st and 10, trailing it 3-0.
Reinhardt on the year, some very interesting stats here to talk about with Reinhardt. They average 46 points per game. On the ground, 350 yards per game. And they've scored 63 rushing touchdowns on the season. They are a run-heavy team. So let's see what our linebackers can do against that.
There was some controversy, if you will. We were told by the Reinhardt people it was a game-time decision whether freshman Billy Hall or sophomore Dylan Wiggins would start, and they start with the freshman. And there's a run to the right side, and shedding a tackle and a curl play across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line.
An impressive job by the freshman to drag a couple tacklers with him as he curled out of that give. Really did a fine job keeping his hands low, looking like he was bootlegging around the corner.
Going to see a lot of Trevay Kane tonight. He's a 235-pound redshirt freshman running back, and he looks big, Sean, as you're looking at him down there.
He passes the eye test, Joe, for sure.
That was a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Motion and the read option. Here is Hall, keeps it himself. Nudges up to about the 28, 29-yard line. Picked up a couple. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Don't like the spot. I thought his knee was down at the mesh point, and then he lunged forward and got a couple yards there. I think it should be placed. Well, anyway, 3rd and 5.
Looking at 3rd downs. Reinhardt was 10 of 18 2 weeks ago. Just 3 of 15 last year against St. Francis on 3rd down opportunities. Hall rolls to the left side, looking to throw. Now it's going to run, and he's got a 1st down middle of the field. He's got running on the midfield into Cougar territory inside the 40 and down to the 37. USF could not bring him down. Schumacher finally got in there.
Tremendous job by the quarterback looking downfield and finding his lanes, because the linebackers actually shot through the middle thinking he was going to step right and square, but he ducked outside and got a tremendous gain. Big
gainer. This offensive line averages 278 a man, tackle to tackle for the Eagles. And they're on the move now, trailing at 3-0. And they'll look on a sweep coming up to the right side. There's a bigger hole once again, and nearly scoring. That was Jace Jordan. Took the inside handoff and sweeping to his right, and the Cougars unable to stop him until the gain is down inside the 15, inside the 20, I should say, to the 17. 1st and 10, hurry up offense now. 1 wide to the left side. Under center is Hall. Looks to hand it off. Now here is a run off tackle, and inside the 15, that was Quay Stocks. They have 9 different ball carriers for Reinhardt with 200 yards or more. They don't have that standout necessarily 1,000-yard rusher, but you take your pick. They go right down the list.
Well, and what that means, Joe, you've got fresh legs back there all the time. And obviously these guys, they know how to run. This is a very impressive drive they're putting together here.
2 protectors in now for Hall. It'll be 2nd down and 6. They'll look again on a sweep coming up to the right side. Nothing doing that time. Cougars that time got penetration. And a stop inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line on the sweep going to the right.
Great job by the defense to cut off that edge. He wasn't able to get around. He had to try and turn it up, and that's exactly where he got his legs taken out from underneath him. This is a huge 3rd down conversion. On the season, Joe, they're 47% on 3rd down conversions, Reinhardt is.
Let's call it 3rd down and a short 6, trying to reach just inside the Cougar 8 on this snap. Big play coming up. USF leads it early 3-0. 3 wide to the left side now for the Eagles. Hall rolls to the left, looks, throws in the flats, has got a catch, but Coward makes the stop at the 15. And Spencer Coward came up and had a little talking going on between he and Quay Stocks.
Yeah, Quay Stocks, he's got a mouth. He played special teams as well, and we saw some extracurriculars down here when he was protecting on the punt, or on the kickoff, excuse me, and now we see him into it again. So Stocks tried to make a play there, and he got stuffed by Coward, and now this is a big 4th down.
They'll bring up a field goal attempt by Marquez from 31 yards out. He was the hero. One of them 2 weeks ago hit a 48-yarder to send the game to overtime. From 31 yards out, long enough on the way, and it is no good.
Wide right.
Did not get there. He was 10 of 14 coming in. He's 10 of 15, and St. Francis will have a timeout down below. We'll lead it still at 3-0 with 5:23 remaining in this 1st quarter. And we'll take a 30-second timeout. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Hello, I'm Tom Steele with Tom Steele Tire and Auto. A family-owned business for over 35 years. We carry all major brands of new cars, as well as a large selection of quality used tires to save you money. We do all types of auto repairs, be it brakes, alignment, or just fix your air conditioner. Tom Steele Tire, North Clinton or Illinois Road. Give us a try. You'll be glad you did.
With Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. Welcome back to Daytona Beach, Florida. Kind of disappointing weather, Sean, for Florida. We're expecting sunshine, and boy, the fans back in Fort Wayne, you know, say, oh, poor guys down there. It was up to about 65 degrees, but kind of breezy, cloudy most of the day. 60 degrees here at kickoff, and they're saying, and your complaint is what?
That's true. You hate to complain about something like that. And the hospitality down here at Daytona Beach is really just fantastic. The people, the atmosphere, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, should have, would have loved some additional sun and maybe 5 or 10 more degrees today. But you know what? in December, I'd take 65 degrees all day long.
And how about dinner last night?
Oh,
huh?
my heavens. Wow.
If you ever get down here, the place is...
Ants Catfish.
There you go.
Yeah, right on the waterway there. And that was really, really something. That was some good stuff.
Two big guys with two paws up each.
That's right.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Cougars get the ball back, still leading it 3-0 on the strength of the 22-yard Gavin Gardner field goal. Marquez, who hit, as we mentioned, 2 weeks ago from 48, could not find the range on the 31-yard field goal.
That was a huge stop right there for the St. Francis Cougars. Again, this is all part of their MO. If, in fact, they can get the ball, get on top, and stay there, leave it up to the defense. Again, this running attack by Reinhardt is really something. When you look at their passing, Joe, they really don't do a whole lot. They average 119 per game, and they have only 10 touchdown passes on the entire season, and 89 completions on the year. So they really don't like to throw. And with a running attack like that, I probably wouldn't either. That was an impressive drive, but it did stall. So hats off to the Cougar defense.
Cougar offensive unit back on the field now. 1st and 10, too wide to the left side for Ferrer. Out of the pistol alignment again, waits for the snap. Long count from the line of scrimmage, gives to Green. Green cuts to his right, bounces outside to the 20, 25, 30. He's behind the defense in a foot race. Inside the 40-yard line. He's got a chance to go to the house. This will be 80 yards for Justin Green. Just like that at the 5-10 mark. 6 to the total for the Cougars. They lead at 9-0.
Here he is, Justin Green, on display in the national championship. 80 yards. We've seen it all year long. Just when you think he's going inside, he breaks a couple ankles, goes outside, and takes off. Finds that 4th gear and hits the hole, and he is gone. The defense could not catch him, and he runs to the house. That was beautiful.
3 touchdowns each of the last 2 years against Reinhardt. He's got his first of the night. And now Gardner with Nepper on the hole. Right-footed kick is on the way. End over end. And good. And USF back on top now at 10-0. And we'll step out. This is Cougar Playoff Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Chaplain at Bishop Durango High School. It is time to get geared up for our fall sports season. Whether competing on the soccer field, golf, or cross-country course, volleyball court, or on the gridiron, we wish good luck and great sportsmanship to all our student athletes and their teams. May we become the saints we are called to be. Saint Sebastian, pray for us.
Welcome back to Florida with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. Wow, what an electric charge put into the crowd below us. Down below, you can hear those Cougar fans with the chanting of USF as their team leads at 10-0 here in the first quarter.
You know, it's a lot better for us, Joe, again, with the home crowd being right underneath the press box here compared to last year when they were on the other side of the field. So our excitement matches the crowds. It's always nice that way, and it's great to see that excitement. Justin Green, oh my goodness, what a difference maker he is.
Here comes the kick down the middle again. Odom runs up to it, the 15. He stumbled a little bit, now cuts to his left at the 20, 25, and wrapped up right there. Did the ball? He's just pushed back. I thought the ball was fumbled for a moment, but great coverage downfield that time by Casey Cole.
There's a flag on the field too, Joe. These Reinhardt guys might be playing the double whistle drill a little too hard. I don't know what the call is going to be, but
Vince Hayes is our referee. We'll go down and try to pick up the call.
Here he comes.
Young returns. Colby, number 49, is return team.
Goes against Reinhardt a hole.
First down, Reinhardt.
They're really going to have to keep an eye on that, too, because these special teams guys are driving the St. Francis players into the ground, staying on top of them, almost wrestling them while they're on the ground, and that might be called later on.
So Billy Hall comes back out, his second possession. Came away empty on the field goal attempt. Motion now left to right once again, and a sweep. They're trying to extend it, and they turn the corner for a first down, and that's a good play. They got to the edge, turned it up across the 30 up to about the 32-yard line.
Again, we see Dutton making that stop, and you would think that a corner or a DN would try and shut down that lane, but so far, these guys know how to run. They've got some great downfield blocks, and they're exploiting the edge.
And just like that, they're at actually the 36-yard line. Motion again to the right side, off-tackle run, and to the second level. Now a penalty flag is thrown. Game was out to the 41. Did the ball pop free? There's a lot of, wow.
No, there was a late hit, and I don't think it's going to be called. Coward was actually pushed down in the back over the scrum of the stop, and the Cougar faithful wanted a penalty on that.
Well, you know that Reinhardt is probably their philosophy has been play physical, play tough.
Right.
But there are limits.
First foul. Chop block.
Chop block is the call against Reinhardt.
Joe, when you look at the Reinhardt Eagles here, penalty yardage per game, 101 yards per game is what they've averaged over this season. And that's quite a bit. And here we see 2 penalties alone on this drive.
You know, you contrast that with St. Francis. There was a time early in the year we were concerned about St. Francis penalties,
right?
But now for the year, less than 65 yards a game.
Yeah.
So the penalty moves the ball back. It'll be first down and 22 with the ball back at the 25. Hall out of the pistol, looks to hand it off again. Now wants to throw off a play action, steps up, runs into his own man, spun around and dropped back inside the 20 at the 19. That was Jamesich that finally got to him and brought him down. I believe Harnish slowed him up.
And again, this is a team that really doesn't pass a whole lot, so the pass protection was not very good. And again, going up against Jamesich, you've got to keep your block until you know you can't. And he was able to dissolve that pocket and get to the quarterback. Another big tackle for loss there. You
know, that ball back around the 20-yard line, I'm not sure they've got that. Now it's going to be second down and 27. I thought they were a couple of yards short there. Now they have a little slide step to the left side by the offensive line. One back look out of the triple option. Ball. And the ball's free again, picked up by Hall, but he's all the way back inside the 15 at about the 12. And Reinhardt, all that misdirection, and they're having problems tonight early on holding on to the football.
Yeah, that was a read option. He tried to get that ball into the gut of the running back there, and it just popped free. Again, we talked about their problems with keeping a hold of the ball. 29 fumbles coming into the contest, and they've got, I believe, 2 on the night so far. So,
of course, the muffed punt return, fumbled away, set up the Cougar first score on a 22-yard field goal by Gavin Gardner. Now with the ball back around the 20 at the 10-yard line. Motion again to the right side. Here's a straight ahead carry. That's across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Again, some extracurriculars. Well, after the play, Lee Stewart got run over by one of the offensive linemen. That was Gordon Dudley. But it'll bring up fourth down, and no question will be a kicking situation for the Eagles.
St. Francis is going to have to be very, very careful. Reinhardt's getting really chippy really early, and I think there's some frustration out there. We talked about it, Joe. They came in wanting to play physically, but there is a limit to that, as you said.
Let's see if Rixey's back there in place of Sean Boswell. I was looking to see where Sean might be on the bench or maybe in the locker room, trying to get him. He made a great catch at the 10 to set up the field goal. Here's the snap now. The punt is away high, not all that long. Rixey's going to let it hit, and it takes a bounce right at the USF 46-yard line and will roll out of bounds, so it'll be very good field position for St. Francis. With 2:08 remaining in the opening quarter, #1 ranked Cougars on top here in this national championship game at 10-0.
Will they pour it on? They're certainly going to try. They're up 10 right now with a short field in front of them. They've got 54 yards to go. It looks like they're going to keep things right here. So here comes the offense. Let's see what Ferrer and company can do.
Gagner coming out, Rocky James, Duke Blackwell out there as well. Gagner will set up on the right wing. Rixey split the lone wide to the near side. They come up in press coverage. Actually, both cornerbacks and 2 safeties back. They drop the linebackers. Here's the blitz coming. That's picked up. Ferrer looks, throws near side. He's got a wide open Rixey. Catches the ball in his hands at the 25 and bumped out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Boy, they were in zone, but they lost him, and it took Jalen Holloman to come over and make that maybe a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, and again, how about Ferrer finding Rixey there in between the zones and just laid it in there with a beautiful touch, and he was able to pull it in, and now they're raring to go just inside the red zone.
Yeah, I was watching the replay, and Rixey with a little square out, and then he took off. And that left the defender in his tracks. 1st and 10, USF in the red zone once again, leading at 10-0, trying to add to their lead. They'll work from the right side hash mark now. Green offset a little bit behind to the right of Ferrer. Now Gagner resets on the left wing, and Ferrer looks short drop, throws a left, and there's a low ball trying to get Blackwell went down. They're going to call it a catch at the 16.
Wow, he had to get rid of that quickly, and he did, and it was successful. However, we've seen him throw that ball before magnificently, whereas on the out pattern, the receiver catches it on his left side, then is able to turn with the ball and head north and south. That time he had to go down and get it, and hats off to Blackwell for doing so, because it was a good catch.
Will Chrisman will check into the game now. Rocky James, I should say, checks out. Slot left is Chrisman to the short side. And Ferrer, after a gain of 4, looks to Green. Green dances. No, it's a play action. Here's Ferrer again. Throws over the middle. And a catch for a touchdown. Duke Blackwell. Good for a touchdown catch of, that will be 16 yards at the 41-second mark.
Wow. Look at Ferrer. Look at that poise in the pocket. The pocket dissolves. He runs up, gets clear of the scramble, and finds Blackwell, throws a frozen rope over the middle, and he comes up with a great catch.
Am I reading that clock right? Is it
41.6,
okay.
Joe. Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was 4 minutes, 16. Here's Gardner with the extra point attempt on the way, and good again. And just like that, US out to a 17-0 lead on the second-ranked Reinhardt University Eagles. Will step out once again. This is Cougar Playoff Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
College isn't about where you go or what you'll do. It's about how you live. The University of St. Francis helps students understand how their education and experience make the world a better place. USF graduates are skilled and highly sought by the top businesses in our region. Schedule a personalized campus visit today at admissions.sf.edu/visit.
Well, you got to love Duke Blackwell coming in and subbing for, we hope Sean Boswell is able to return, but if he's not, it's nice to know you've got capable backups. Sophomore Blackwell, 5'10", 180, 20 catches on the year. That's his 21st. Checking, I think it's his 22nd. He had 2 in that series. And his 5th receiving touchdown of the year.
Yeah, again, next man up mentality for the USF Cougars. Been like that and will continue to be like that each and every contest. These guys know it, and they show up. And boy, oh boy, this is exciting. 17-0, and we're still in the first quarter.
Gardner ready to approach. And the right-footed kick again, not all that deep, comes down near side. That'll be fielded at the 17. And a return to the right side, trying to get, and then slipping down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. So that was one of the up men that got the return that time. That was Ace Williams. And it'll be decent field position now for the Eagles, but they're on the short end of this 17-0 score, with still 35 seconds and change remaining in this first quarter.
Yeah, Reinhardt needs to clean some things up here. The penalties, the fumbles, it's just they need to find some momentum. Their running game is really quite impressive, and they need to put something together here at the waning seconds of the first quarter.
Eagles bring the offensive unit out once again. They'll have 2 wide to the left side. Up in the slot is Quanti Green. Now they're going to put 3 wide to the near side, taking a lot of time. Trying to find the play clock, Sean. I can't find it.
Yeah, we're at 14. It's to the left of the big scoreboard down there.
Can you find the elephant in the tree, Joe? Here we go. Shotgun formation. Read option once again. A straight ahead carry, not much there. Gained about the 33, just short of the 34-yard line. Cougars trying to plug up that middle. On the run that time by McCollin to Lanier.
Yeah, Mannion came in and just crashed that run right there and stuffed it for a couple-yard gain that time. So the read option really not successful on that one.
Sean, you talked about they really don't throw the ball that much. If they do, Ronnie Chambliss would be a likely candidate. Here's a sweep coming up left side, and to turn in the corner, and falling down on the sweep. That was Montrelius Mosley. And I don't know, is it the evening dew maybe out there that's created a little bit of slick conditions? That is the end of the first quarter. 17 big wins on the board for St. Francis, trying to go 2 for 2 in national championship trips to Florida. We'll be back. Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
St. Francis protected Catholic families since 1882 with charities that focus on Venerable Father Michael J. McGivney founded Knights of Columbus in New Haven, Connecticut as a way for Catholics to protect Catholics. Father McGivney will firsthand hardships families endure when the breadwinner passes away, having lost his own father while insane. With over $100 billion of life insurance protection in force, Knights of Columbus are in a strategic position to help its members and families. Michael A. has served members in Fort Wayne and Decatur since 2013. Call him for Catholic Difference 260-438-8677.
With Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson back in Daytona Beach, Florida. Game started at 60 degrees and going to drop down to the mid-50s. Did you bring a jacket?
I did, as a matter of fact, just in case. I packed with a jacket for the week's travel anyway on doing other things. But, yeah, you talked about the field surface down there. It's a beautiful, beautiful field. It's artificial surface. But, again, that plastic that's down there, it does get a little dewy. And we've seen Reinhardt trying to make some cuts, and they really have not been successful. So that run game, again, you're down 17. It's very difficult to come back from a 17-0 deficit with a run attack. But having said that, a retro look back 2 weeks ago when the Cougars led 19-3, and they ended up having to come from behind, trailing at 20-25. So, as the old adage says, it's not over till the fat lady warms up, right? That's exactly right.
It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles. Now they'll work from left to right. The Cougars have had a 22-yard field goal from Gavin Gardner. Then an 80-yard touchdown jaunt by Justin Green, followed up by a Ferrer to Blackwell. Diving touchdown catch in the end zone, good for 16 yards.
You know, it's interesting, too, Joe. You look out there on the defense for the Cougars. We see Matt Muncy and Matt Schwartz out there, Malachi Mannion. That's second-team defense out there right now for the Cougars.
Eagles trying to reach their own 42-yard line on this snap. Trying to keep things going. Gordon Donley looking to the sidelines for some help. Officials have not marked the ball ready for play yet.
See, they've got a 4-man front. University of St. Francis does as well, 4-3 defense right there. So, again, going up against that wanted running attack by Reinhardt, they need an extra guy to plug some holes. 2 safeties back for USF. Corners playing well off as well. Here's a little misstruck. The ball is thrown short. Little crossing pattern trying to hit Kwani Green, but it'll be a punting situation once again for Reinhardt. Unable to capitalize, unable to convert. They'll have to punt the ball away. And there comes Dan Rixey out in punt return formation for St. Francis. Spence Cower doing a fine job on that defensive play right there. Getting in that quarterback space and making him throw just really not a good ball. So the incompletion brings up the punt. Rixey back there. He's got a long punt return this year of 36. Kick will come from the 20-yard line. Waiting for the snap now. Long count from the line of scrimmage. Rush is coming. The kick is way high. Not all that long. Rixey's going to let it bounce again and takes a high bounce at the 25. And it will come to a stop somewhere around the 21-yard line. So St. Francis will put the offensive unit back on the field, leading at 17-0 here early in the second quarter. Football fans, the St. Felix Catholic Center in Huntington, Indiana offers one-day and overnight retreats with over 70 rooms. Be sure to visit Our Lady in her grotto and walk the 30 scenic acres. St. Felix is the former home of Blessed Solanus Casey. Visit their website at sfcatholiccenter.com to schedule your next meeting or retreat. Some early numbers from the first quarter. Green with 6 carries for 80 yards net at 80 and 1 touchdown. Ferrer 6 of 10 for 93 yards and a touchdown. And he will get ready to receive the football right now out of the pistol from the right side hash mark, I should say. Looks to Green. Green dances to his left, trying to turn the corner, and he does. 20-25 and tackled from behind, just short of the first down. And boy, you get the feeling every time that young man touches the football, he's got a chance to go all the way. It's a step or two, and he's gone. And of course, backside pressure, good pursuit that time by number 35 for Reinhardt, because again, if he doesn't get him, he did have a block out front. And what does that say if you're a defender out there and you're looking at the dipsy
diving and bobbing and weaving of Justin Green and knowing you're the last line of defense.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. You hope your ankles have a good amount of tape on him because he is so dangerous and can make anybody miss.
Green picks up 7, 2nd down and 3. Here's Ferrer, this time out of the shotgun, and he's got Rocky James. Here's a throw. James has got the catch, wrapped up, and actually they're going to give him, well, a mark out at 28. He's going to lose about a half a yard. Well, we mentioned, Sean, that Justin Green needs 113 yards tonight to reach the 2,000-yard plateau. He may do that in the first half.
Well, yeah, he had 80 on that big run right there, so yeah, he might be very, very close, of course.
But it will be 3rd down and a longer 3 now. USF trying to reach their own 31-yard line. Again, they drop 3 back in coverage. Blitz is coming defensive right side. Here's a quick throw, and the catch is made at the 40-yard line. That's Blackwell again, spins off 1 tackle, and all the way up to the 44-yard line.
One heck of an effort right there for Blackwell, spinning out of a tackle, dragging a tackler with him who had a hold of his jersey, had him for dear life, and he was finally wrangled down, but not before he gets a nice first down.
I don't know if you noticed it too. Kareem Warren came over, and he was looking to potentially punch the ball away if he could. So you got to be aware of that. Play action fake. Ferrer looks, throws over the middle. He's got Blackwell over the shoulder catch inside the 20 to the 10 and brought down with another touchdown saving tackle that time. And it'll be 1st and goal for USF on the march once again.
How about Blackwell stepping up big tonight, just doing a great job. As soon as he was tackled, he looked up. He was inside the 10, saw the end zone, and he wanted it real bad. He needs to come out for a break. He's doing a great job.
Sean, we've talked all year long where there's problems, there's opportunities. One man goes down. You talked about a next man up, and yeah, you lose Boswell, at least for this first half, it appears. But there is little Duke Blackwell says, you know what, just give me a chance.
Put me in, coach. Here we go.
They're going to spot that ball at the 10, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 10. And here is Green looking to sweep to his right side, hurries to the, and he's going to win the race to the end zone, the corner of the end zone. Justin Green with his 2nd touchdown run of the night. That went from 10 yards out at the 12-20 mark.
Just incredible. Foot race to the corner, and of course you're going to have a very difficult time beating Justin Green. He dives for it, gets it, another 6 points for Justin Green. Just having a whale of a national championship game tonight.
You know, John, it was interesting. He didn't explode that time. He was waiting, kind of just waiting to see how the blocking, and suddenly he shot out and won the race to the corner. Now, play is held up just for a moment. $23-0 USF.
It's getting late very early here for Reinhardt, Joe.
Gardner waiting. Right-footed kick is on the way again. Long enough, certainly. End over end and good again. 24-0. Number 1, USF flexing their silver and blue muscles here early tonight on the road in Florida. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Everyone at the University of St. Francis congratulates the 2017 USF Cougars for a fantastic football season. We applaud all of our student athletes who take part in the 16 athletic programs at USF. We also thank the USF Marching Pride Band for their participation in this year's NAIA National Football Championship. Want to learn how you could be part of these exciting USF programs? Check it out at sf.edu.
Back in Florida with Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson, and we were just talking during the break. Yeah, you like the 24-0 lead, but it's early in the second quarter, and somehow, you know how these games go, Sean. Look at the Morningside game, up 19-3 early on. Thought, well, it's going to be just to phone it in, a trip to the office, normal work day. No, it wasn't. Down 20-25, had to rally in the fourth quarter, and then had to hold on to win the game.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing what 60 seconds can do to a game, let alone, 12-20 here in the second quarter and all of the second half. So, no. These kids, they know they're in it for the long haul. They've got to play each and every snap to the best of their abilities. So they've clearly demonstrated that so far. The real danger, at least in my mind right now, and we've seen some of it already, is as chippy as Reinhardt has been, you hope nobody gets hurt on either squad, obviously. And, when you get frustrated, you get angry, you get down, some of that potential rises up. to take it out on the field. So.
And when you look at this talent and speed of the running attack by Reinhardt, as you talked about earlier, Sean, they are averaging on the ground 350-plus yards a game, number one among all NAIA football teams. It just takes one split, maybe a missed tackle or a little bit of a seam, and they've got the capability to put points on the board in a hurry as well.
And they put a lot of points on the board, Joe. 46 per game, 470 yards per game is what they do. So again, this is an offensive juggernaut, and so when you were able to score 63 touchdowns on the ground throughout the season, there's no wonder you're undefeated. However, one of the things to really bring up here, when you look at strength of schedule, we talked about this again, Morningside and some of the other squads as well. When you look at their regular season victories, only 3 of their opponents in the regular season had winning records in the season. So this clearly, the Mid-States is a tough gauntlet, and it really prepares St. Francis for postseason play.
I think the Cougars played 8 ranked in the top 25 opponents this year. So Gardner waiting to tee it up again. He'll have a short approach from the 35-yard line, kicking right to left. Here comes the kick down the middle. Odom backing up. He's got the ball at the 9. Cuts to his right 15. Back to the left side. He's got some running room. And to the second level again, and caught from behind all the way up short of midfield at about the 47, 48-yard line.
That's one of the best kickoff returns, at least when looking on paper, that they've had all year. And so that one worked quite well. No flags on the play, very clean. And so Reinhardt comes out to start their first plays of the second quarter with a very short field.
By the way, that was not Odom's. It was Mosley, Montrelius Mosley on the kick return, but he's got very good field position now for the Reinhardt Eagles with just 12-12 remaining in the first half. And let's see if they have Billy Hall, the freshman, in there at quarterback. They do. Off tackle run, Trevay Kane gets it, and that takes that 235-pound. And boy, there's some late extracurriculars going on still. But the gain is out into the Cougar side of midfield at the 45. That's a gain of 6.
And the Cougars are going to have to be very, very careful, because it's never the instigator, Joe. It's always the retaliator that gets the flag.
Kane stays in there, trying to raise Kane. Here's a split coming, a sweep to the left side. And there's a penalty flag thrown again. The gain is to the 42 of USF.
Yeah, that might be a hold coming back here. I saw Coward, who was on a pursuit angle, and then it looked like he just got pulled right out of the way he was running. I don't know if it's going to be on him, but there was clearly a hold, at least that I saw. Let's see what their call is.
Holding, 97 defense.
Oh.
Well, you're right about the hold, but it was the silver and blue. Jamesic got whistled for the hold, defensive holding. So that'll give him an automatic first down at the USF 33-yard line. And some of the best field position, certainly of the second quarter now for the Eagles, trailing at 24-0.
That's unusual. Not impossible, but unusual. We don't see Jamesic getting called for a lot of penalties.
He spotted at the 33 from the left side hash mark now. Eagles would love to get on the board before halftime. Hall sets his team down now, looks to Kane again, off tackle run, and breaks one tackle, nudges ahead down to about the 26. He is a load. He is 6'2". Check it, he is 6'1", 235 pounds, a redshirt freshman. Did not play against St. Francis a year ago. And he's got 6 yards once again. Second down and 4. Motion again right to left. They'll give it off and a cut up the middle. That's again, they've got a first down inside the 20. Taking care of business with Kane running the football.
Yeah, that was Logue on the carry that time. So a new set of legs in there that time. Logue checks in. He is a sophomore, checking in 5'10", 195.
Well, they continue to bring in. Logue stays in there as the running back, the one back in the wing tee. And here's a cut to the right side. And still on his feet inside the 15. That was Quantick Green, a freshman. And it will be third down coming up with the ball inside the Cougar 15 at the 14.
It'll be interesting to see what their average yards per carry here is, because again, on first down you can get 5-6 yards. this is what makes that offense so dangerous. Again, grinding that clock down tick after tick, keeping it on the ground and safe, and getting 6 yards a clip. That's impressive.
By the way, that is a 2nd down and 4 coming up, long 4 at the USF 14-yard line. Same formation, 2 wingbacks, motion right to left again, off tackle run, and they got the first down, I believe, at the Cougar 10, maybe another yard.
It'll be close. Looks like they might spot it right inside the 10.
Official's going to take a look.
It's going to be real close.
No indication yet. They put the ball squarely at the 10, and maybe close enough for
3rd and inches? No, 1st and goal.
Well, that wasn't real obvious, was it?
No real indication.
Hall now has his team slide step to the right side. Under center. Hall's got motion, near side, a sweep coming up to the right, and a cut inside. Second effort gets a carry down to the 30-yard line, or to the down to the 6-yard line.
Well, I like the play call, student body right, and it was a very quick handoff. And again, the tackle pulls, and he's already got a lead blocker out there, and everybody swings to the right side. So good power run that time. 2nd
and goal from the Cougar 6 for the Eagles, trying to get on the board. Kane is back in there as the running back to give us to him. Up the middle, spins around, got down to the 2. Did not score to bring up 3rd down and goal. He got the winning touchdown 2 weeks ago in the 2nd overtime to defeat Southern Oregon.
And here we see the goal line stand coming up for the University of St. Francis Cougars. They're famous for this. Helmelgarn asking for some help from the sidelines.
And he will get it. Hall checks that Cougar defense. Ready to take the snap again. And looks to Kane straight ahead, driving. Did he get in? Officials taking a look. No indication yet. Now a touchdown. So the Eagles finally on the board at 8:29 mark on the 2-yard touchdown run by Trevay Kane.
Just another power move inside there, Joe, and too many bodies and too much power on that run to be stopped.
That is his 12th touchdown run of the year. Now they have the old swinging door with everybody lined up to the left. They can throw off of that. Let's see, now they shift back into normal extra point formation for Marquez, trying to make it 24-7. There was movement at the line of scrimmage. Didn't see a penalty. Now there is one. The kick is good. We'll see what this is about before we take the break. I think the Cougars were offside.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the PAT squad has taken off the field for Reinhardt, so.
Well, you can take the point off the board if you want to try for 2, but.
Offside. Defense, number 98. The penalty declined. The try is good.
Yeah, Helmelgarn was offside. So we'll be back here to Daytona Beach, Florida. 8:29 remains in the first half, and it is a. Let's see if they got that score right. I think it's 24-7. They gave St. Francis an extra point.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to appreciate the hospitality, but they'll adjust that when we return. And this is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
The DeHaze Group is a locally owned, full-service insurance agency that has been servicing clients in Northeast Indiana since 1982. We have proven strategies that link our clients to exclusive insurance programs. Kevin Burns is a proud supporter of sports on Redeemer Radio. Call him at 260-424-5600 for all your insurance needs. The DeHaze Group, exceeding expectations, beyond insurance.
Welcome back, everybody, with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. Cougars under the lights here, looking for their 2nd straight national championship. You know, back in the day, the Cougars went to Tennessee 3 straight times. They came home empty, and now trying to turn it around, preferring the hospitality of the Sunshine State much more than they did in Tennessee. Nothing against those folks, but when you come away empty, you come away empty. And St. Francis trying to make it 2 straight. But Reinhardt now, that'll give them, the Eagles, a little confidence now, having run the football, which is what they do. and they're on the board trailing it just 24-7.
Yeah, they had a short field there, Joe. They had a great kickoff return that time, took it out to about the 49-yard line, and that running attack took over from there. They didn't throw the ball once, and again, we saw some great power football on display right there, some quick hits, some off-tackle dives, and it was very successful. So they were able to punch it in, and now they prepare to kick this one away to the University of St. Francis.
It'll be interesting at halftime to see exactly how many different running backs the Eagles did use in this first half. Of course, Kane with 342 yards coming into the ball game, now with 12 rushing touchdowns in the year. Came in on 73 carries. They don't have that, 1,000-yard rusher, but they got nine guys with 200 yards or more. So take your pick.
Well, and again, that's a real testament to the coaching staff here to develop that as well. When you talk about James Miller and his first year as head coach here, he has really done a fine job of keeping fresh legs in the backfield, developing that talent. And again, we talk about the USF having that attitude of next man up. Well, for Reinhardt, it's next man in, let alone next man up. So they've got a great attack there.
Now here's where you got to be a little careful, expecting maybe a little trickery.
Yep.
Onside possibility as Marquez approaching and does kick it down the middle. There's Green backpedaling a couple of yards into the end zone. We'll bring it out. Cuts to the left side at the 10, trying to sweep to his left side, 15-20. Blockers in front, 25, and hog-tied. Caught high and brought down, but he brings it across the 35 to the 36-yard line, and Justin Green, again a threat.
And just a beautifully designed play. They knew what they were doing from the get-go there. Oh, we've got a flag back at the 10, Joe. But, again, he had two lead blockers that were in front of him, and you could see all three of them then on the mark, flowing then to the left side and getting around that edge. But this might be coming back.
During return, blocking back, 20 of the return team. Half the distance to the front foul.
Well, instead of having the ball out across the 35, the walk-off will be half the distance, and they'll take the ball back to the 5-yard line. And now you got to be careful with 8:21 remaining in the first half. Your lead is 17 points, but you want to guard against a turnover in this part of the country.
Well, and a bare minimum, really, from my perspective, you need a first down or two. If you give Reinhardt another short field near the 50 after your punt, they could very much just walk right back into the end zone after a nice short drive, and then they're right back in this game.
Blackwell comes out once again. He has been huge so far tonight for St. Francis in this first half. 2 wide to the left, 1 wide to the right. Shotgun formation for Ferrer at the goal line. Gives to Green, trying to find some running room. Slices off to the left and nudges across the 15-yard line. And boy, I tell you what, a late, quick burst by Green brings him out to the 16.
There's some daylight right there. Yeah, I marvel every time I watch him run that ball, where he finds those seams, where he's able to plant his feet, where he's able to zig and zag and then turn those jets on. He is so fun to watch.
And, Sean, you know the best part? He's just a junior.
He's a junior. That's right. All-American.
Pearson Harnish, Eric Dutton, both coming back. Juniors this year. It'll be 1st and 10. Clock at 7:46 remaining now in the first half. Rixey in wide to the right. I believe that's Blackwell in the slot to the right side. They've got 3 wide to the right. As here is Ferrer. Gives to Green again. Cuts it up the middle and then chopped down. Got maybe a yard to the 17. That was a pretty good defensive play that time. As making that stop for Reinhardt. Getting it hands, that was Tevin McCoy.
Yeah, and again, nice job. Backside pressure that time, coming in and slicing at him and knocking him down. So, again, very limited gain there for Justin Green.
Call it a pickup of 1, 2nd down and 9. Rixey and Blackwell again split to the right. Chrisman, the lone wide to the near side to the left. Gigner up on the wing to the left side, and Ferrer out of the gun. Looks to throw, gives ground, now being pursued, throws the ball up, and that one away. Just aired it out, threw it away, feeling the pressure, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Well, they were able to get some daylight there, and this is going to be a critical 3rd down conversion right here because it's 3rd and long, so clearly it's going to be probably a pass coming up from Ferrer. And we saw Reinhardt with some great coverage on that pass attempt. So Ferrer's got his work cut out for him on this down.
Cougars trying to get the ball out to their own 26-yard line on this snap. Both teams with their full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. 6:55 remaining in this first half. 24-7 St. Francis. Little motion near side. Here's Ferrer, looks, and wrapped up, and they've got him for a sack back inside the 10.
No chance for Ferrer to set up for a pass that time. They brought a max blitz package, and they really just dissolved that pocket quickly, and Ferrer was just holding on to that ball. That's all he could do.
J.T. Graydon, one of those to get to him initially, so the Cougars will have to punt the ball away. And now momentum maybe changing a little bit for the guys for Georgia, as they will have 10 men up at the line of scrimmage once again. Knepper about 3 yards deep into the end zone, ready to take the snap, trying to get that punt away. Here comes a low snap to him. The kick is away. That's a nice kick, wobbly ball that's fielded at the 46. Drop, but Reinhardt will have it, as USF was on there. And now penalty flags, all kind of everybody that brought one through when Ryan Johnson was down there trying to scramble for that football again.
Yep. And again, God bless it. So Crawford, number 18, continued to hold on to the, looks like under the chin of the St. Francis player right there. Trying to get a number there, but can't really see it. And again, he starts slapping around and then finally did a head slap against Crawford, and I believe that's when the flag came out. So it'll be interesting to see what the call is. But again, it's typically never the instigator. It's always the retaliator.
Just got to keep your cool in those situations. Vince Hayes, our referee, going to let us know Cougars are backing up.
I don't like that.
Half the play is over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 26, St. Francis. That's number 26, first on unsportsmanlike conduct. 15 yards into the play. First down.
That was Jalen Moss that drew the flag, and the penalty is going to take the ball down to the USF 33-yard line, and that's a big one that hurts. With still over 6 minutes remaining in the first half. But we are not going anywhere because we are going to have another media timeout. 6:06 remains here in this first half. It is a 24-7 USF lead, but that's in jeopardy. Reinhardt with an opportunity when we return to Florida. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
This is David X with Union Savings Bank Mortgage Department. So happy to support Bishop Brewers and Bishop Brewers student athletes who work so hard to be the best they can be. I'm here to support you too as you look for mortgage lending. If you need a home loan, pick up the phone and call me, 418-6191 anytime for low closing costs and great rates. 418-6191. They offer what you want, low closing costs and great rates. Call 418-6191. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Football fans, tonight's game is brought to you by University of St. Francis. Located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, USF is a private Catholic university enrolling students on campus and online. With over 70 programs from undergrad to doctoral degrees, the USF education has a lot to offer. Check out the USF today at sf.edu. That's sf.edu.
Sean, I was looking back to that game in Georgia a year ago. 42-24 the final, and actually it was Reinhardt that had that early 7-0 lead, but then Cougars scored 3 touchdowns, 2 of them by Justin Green, and that pushed the lead to 21-10 St. Francis. They won it by a final count of 42-24. In that game, Cougars had 553 yards of total offense. Green, we mentioned his numbers a year ago in Georgia, 20 carries, 176 on the ground. He averaged over 8.5 yards a carry and 3 rushing touchdowns. He's got 1 tonight from 80 yards out. But looking at some of the numbers, Mosley last year, he had just 1 carry and scored the lone Eagle touchdown, rushing touchdown. Here we go. Eagles at the Cougar 33-yard line. Now they're waiting for now the media's back. And 1st and 10, Reinhardt. Pistol lineman now for Billy Hall. Motion right to left. Straight ahead, carried some running room initially. Bobbing and weaving, looking for some running room. That's McCollin Lanier again. and he'll pick up about 4 yards.
Yeah, Harnish and Coward there on the stop for USF there in the middle of the field. So, again, good power play right through the middle. Gains 4.5, and that's what you're looking for on first down.
Basically everything for Reinhardt coming on the ground. 2 safeties back, but I'm not going to say USF disdaining the pass. Here comes a run off to the right side. USF strung that out nicely that time and defended very well. No gain on that time as Jordan May, I believe, got to good position to make that tackle.
Yeah, Jace Jordan on the end around that time. Nowhere for him to go, and he actually just ends up running into the play. So nothing there.
That's a loss back to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Let's see if Hall has to go to the air now. Under center, though, looks to run the ball again with Kane straight ahead. Won't get there. Got to the 26. So that'll bring up a 4th down decision now. And when you're trailing by 17, it's like
he's hobbled.
Touch me out yet. And by the way, that's Lanier coming out of the game limping noticeably.
He ran into Hemmelgarn and got bent backwards, so
320 will do that.
Yeah.
They're going to go for it. 4th down and 3, trying to reach the 23-yard line on this snap. Under center. Hall sets his team down. Motion to the right side. Gives it off and tripped up, and they won't get their Kane. Never got back to the 25, in fact. Tripped up, falls down at the 26. The Cougars get a 4th down, a needed stop, and they'll take over the football, leading at 24-7 with 4:20 remaining in this first half.
You know, that's a great call. Again, with a 55% completion rate on 4th down chances. Reinhardt really felt good about that one. They were too far for a field goal and close enough. They wanted to keep the drive alive. And again, being down 24-7, I don't know what a field goal really will do for you at this point. So it was a little aggressive on the call, but no good. The USF defense is too strong.
Now the Cougar offense, let's see what they can do. Blackwell sets up in the slot to the right side. Rixey split wide of him. That's the wide side of the field for Ferrer. Looks to Green. Plunges straight ahead. Got maybe a yard, yard and a half, up to about just short of the 28. Not a lot there. But it keeps the clock moving now, or did it?
No, they stopped the clock for some reason. Why would they stop the clock?
That is a very good question.
Oh, a helmet came off. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, Cougar lost his bonnet. Alex Woods had to come out for a play.
So it is gain of 2. At close to 3 yards that time by Green. Same set with 2 wide to the right, 1 wide to the left side. Ferrer looks again, play action fake. Loads, fires right side, ball knocked away, nearly intercepted. Reading that, Blackwell the intended receiver, but boy, I tell you what, that was read perfectly that time, and that could have been trouble the other way.
Yeah, I think that pass, either Blackwell curled a little too much, but I think it was thrown just outside of his hands, and the DB was right there. And boy, oh boy, that was very, very close.
That was Aaron Brown looking for his 2nd pick of the year. This Reinhardt defense comes in with 19 interceptions on the year. So far, none tonight. Now it'll be 3rd down and 7. They're going to drop 2 back deep. As Ferrer trying to make a play. Looking, rushes coming, throws over the middle, and that's a catch made at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10. Blackwell again.
I think he went down hard, Joe.
And he's going to be still down on the turf. The Cougars have lost Sean Boswell already. Went out after he made a great catch at the 10-yard line to set up an early field goal.
I think he went down awkwardly. I don't know if he was trying to plant and cut or if, in fact, he was just trying to be safe and go down, but he might have went down hard on a knee. Hard to say at this point.
Trainer's going to come out and tend to Duke Blackwell. And
he's in pain.
Again, you look over the last 2 ball games. Gardner went out. Now Blackwell, well, limping noticeably. He's trying to urge the crowd on. But let's hope that he can shake off. He's limping on one leg, basically. Right to the bench.
Sitting right next to Boswell.
And by the way, Boswell with his shoulder pads off and a crutch. So that probably tells you something right there. And Boswell limping around still. So it looks like his night is done. And Let's hope they can get Blackwell back. But it'll 1st and 10 USF at the Cougar 42, moving right to left. So that'll bring Andreas Gomez-Espino into the ball game, slot right. As here's a pitch coming near side for Green. Green straight arms one and steps out of bounds, gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And going out of bounds stops the clock with 3:20 remaining. Cougars getting thin on numbers now, though, especially at the receiver spot. Rocky James, haven't seen him the last series or two. Well, they told us, quite frankly, he was not 100% coming into tonight's game.
Yeah, James, Rixey, Chrisman, Espino.
Again, somebody's got to step up. 2nd down and 10. Clock is running now inside of 3 minutes. Ferrer looking at a blitz to his defensive left side. Looks to Green, play action fake. Back pedals, looks, loads, fires right side. Catch is made. And the forward progress will be up around the 49. That'll be short of the first down by about 3 yards. That was a pretty good catch.
Yeah, it was a very good catch. Good coverage out there. And, again, nice hands on the reception that time. And he tried to spin out of it, but just could not. So, but still, sets him up with 3rd and manageable here with Nick Ferrer captaining the ship. 3rd and 3.5, Joe. 3rd and 3.
Got to get just outside the Reinhardt, right about the 48-yard line on this snap. With 2:03 remaining now in the first half. Blitz coming, and there was motion. Here's a quick throw to the right side. A wide open Gegner's got it at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 USF.
Love it. Great job by Gegner. Good hands out there. Double coverage and right in line. Ferrer threw it on the money. Quickly grabbed it and got a nice first down.
You know, Sean, that's a great point because USF, little by little, are adjusting. They know that Reinhardt's got extreme quickness. They make some late moves, especially on the perimeter. And Nick knows he's got to be quicker tonight, making those decisions and getting rid of the ball, even if you've got to throw it away. New set of downs now with 1:55 on the clock. Here's Ferrer, gives to Green. Green looking for running room and then fell awkwardly backwards at the 40 after gaining about 1.5 yards.
Some holes you find, some you don't. And that time he tried to find it, but he just could not. And they stopped the clock again.
So we're going to have a timeout called by St. Francis or someone. Anyway, with 1:47 on the clock.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Interesting. Reinhardt takes the timeout. So will we. 1:47 remains in the half. 24-7. USF 2nd and 9. Cougars when we come back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
The season is officially underway as the Black Friday sales event is going on right now at Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Score up to $6,000 off your award-winning 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And trucks are selling like crazy with up to $8,000 in savings on 2017 Rams. Or check out the huge inventory of factory-backed certified pre-owned vehicles, all with massive savings. The Black Friday sales event runs all month long, so get in early to beat the stampede. Under the giant American flag on Coliseum or visit us online at GlenbrookDodge.com. As American as it gets.
Cougars with the offensive unit back out now. It'll be 2nd down and 9. They spot the ball at the Reinhardt 40-yard line. Cougars moving right to left. They have the lead 24-7. Here's Ferrer looking again and being pursued. Got rid of the football. Throws it, and there's Rixey. Did he get the foot inbounds? No, they wave it. No catch. He did not get a foot inbounds.
Boy, that's tough. That was a very athletic move by Rixey to try and come up with that ball, but unfortunately, he must not have come down inbounds with it. Ferrer did a fine job getting flushed out of that pocket, put the ball where Rixey had a chance at it, but it was just too close to the sidelines.
Tell you what, I thought Ferrer was throwing that ball away, but there was Rixey. At least give him a shot at it. But now it's 3rd down and 9. 1:41 remains. Cougars trying now to come up with a play that would get him to the Reinhardt 31-yard line. Rixey again wide right. They come up in press coverage on him. Ferrer out of the gun, too wide to the left lane of the breast. Here's that screen there. Green's got it, cuts, and he's got the first down right sideline, inside the 20-yard line. Boy, he takes a big hit. And are they going to throw a flag? He was, wow, Cougar fans will not like that no call.
That was a horse collar. Oh, my heavens, with a no call? Are you kidding me?
There is a penalty flag, but it's back at the 39, and you know that's probably going to get St. Francis. And Kevin Donley is not going to be happy about that.
Well, they did throw a flag down there, Joe. Look, there's a flag down there now at the 17-yard line.
Did not see that.
No, I think it was just dropped out of the pocket afterwards.
Vince Hayes, our referee, will talk things over. It may be just a offsetting penalties. We'll see.
Well, it was a beautifully designed and well-executed screen right there as the pressure came right through. The defensive line did not recognize it whatsoever. Ferrer did a great job just dropping the ball over the open hands and getting it to Green. But, man, he took a shot dragged down by the collar.
Yeah, I thought he was out of bounds.
Holding. Number 58, defense. Personal foul. First color tackle. 28, defense. Facilities offset. Replay down.
Shoemaker called with a hold. Reinhardt with a personal foul. They are offsetting. It'll be still 3rd down and 9 with a ball at the 40-yard line. But the clock shows just 93 seconds now remaining until intermission. But the Cougars had a chance, Sean, to...
Well, I guess I just don't understand. When you're drawing in the defensive line, how could there be a hold? I just don't get that call. Of course, I didn't see it. The whole idea is to let them in, you know, not stop them from getting to your quarterback.
A lot of times on those plays, you're just supposed to have a token, and maybe somebody reached out, you know, for Shoemaker that got the penalty. Anyway, 3rd down and 9. Here we go. 3 wide to the left. Empty backfield. 2 wide to the right. Ferrer pumps, looks, throws to the middle, and the ball incomplete. In and out of the hands that time, and Rixey couldn't hold on, so bring up 4th down. And now with 1:29 on the clock remaining, 4th down and 9, and they're going to bring in Nepper to punt the ball away, forcing Reinhardt to try to go some 70, 80 yards with 2 timeouts remaining and 1:29 on the clock.
Now let's see if Nepper can do a coffin corner here and just pin him back deep and make him go 90-plus yards here with 1:29 to go before the half.
You saw him at Dwenger, and did he have any adeptness?
Oh, he's a talented kid. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Waits for the snap back at the USF 47. And boy, there comes the rush. Looked like they were almost offside. Looking right side to try to bury it down. Kicks out of bounds inside the 15. So the Reinhardt Eagles will have to go some 85-plus yards with 1:22 on the clock as the Cougars score the game's first 24 points of the night, and their lead is 17 here at 24-7.
Well, football fans, Bishop Luers High School, a Catholic educational community that instills in each student dignity, integrity, respect, and responsibility, is proud to sponsor tonight's game. You can catch the Luers spirit at www.bishopluers.org.
You kind of wonder, Billy Hall, will he now try to move his team through the air somewhat? Has been content really to keep it on the ground. You got Big Trevay Kane back there as the running back. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 14-yard line of the Eagles. Shotgun formation now for Hall. Hall resets his team now, looks and play action fake. Wants to throw, being scrambles to his left. Gets by 1, then buried back inside the 10 around the 9.
Dutton. Big number 39 recognized it when he tried to spin out of the pocket.
Now will St. Francis call a timeout. We've got all 3 remaining. No indication yet. Clock inside of 1 minute. That's a big loss of 5 yards. 2nd down and, 14, they say.
Yeah, that was a huge sack right there.
I think Coach Donley would be content to get into the dressing room right now and figure out who he's got left at the wide receiver spot.
Take some inventory. And now we've got a timeout on the field, Joe.
That takes the clock down to 42.6 seconds remaining. And we will be back here to Daytona Beach, Florida.
Timeout.
Reinhardt took the timeout. And this is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Knights of Columbus Insurance has protected Catholic families since 1882 with charities the focal point. Venerable Father Michael J. McGivney founded Knights of Columbus in New Haven, Connecticut as a way for Catholics to protect Catholics. Father McGivney knew firsthand hardships families endure when the breadwinner passes away, having lost his own father while at seminary. With over $100 billion of life insurance protection in force, Knights of Columbus are in a strategic position to help its members and families. Mike Lay has served members in Fort Wayne and Decatur since 2013. Call him for the Catholic Difference, 260-438-8677.
Well, to give you an update, we know that Sean Boswell pretty much can assume his night is off, as done. See him down on the bench with a right leg iced up and extended. Haven't got any update yet really on Duke Blackwell, and really haven't seen Rocky James in there of late either.
I think Boswell is going to take over the role of head cheerleader now, right there in the middle of the field. So
Reinhardt with that timeout. I believe they only have one remaining.
45.8 seconds on the game clock.
They may change some time on the clock. Right now shows 48 seconds remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 14 with 46 seconds to play here in this first half. Now the Eagles will set up the left side hash mark now. Empty backfield for Billy Hall as he looks to throw out of the end zone. Screens the ball, and that's dropped. Trey Stocks could not find the handle. Maybe that's the reason they don't try to do more with a passing attack.
Yeah, I think Jordan May actually got a paw on that one, Joe. He went up big to try and knock that down, and I think he was successful, as a matter of fact. So the ball didn't make it to the receiver. And, you know, a good friend of mine, old coach, he said, you know, to win championships, you've got to be able to pass some. And so far, Reinhardt really just is not demonstrating that ability.
So the clock stopped with 42.4 seconds remaining. Now they've got a bunch line up to the short side to the left of Hall. Wants to throw again. Sets up at the goal line. He goes into the end zone. Throws it as far as he can over the middle. The ball's up for grabs. Tipped and incomplete. Well, that one was well bracketed. And I'll tell you what, I want to check. It was done and rotated back. But he was celebrating while that ball was hanging in the air. He might have had a chance for it.
Yeah, and he and Schumacher as well were like, no, what, you guys, the ball is still in the air. You know, look around for it. So, but again, great job by the defense. Again, that was a great coverage. The defensive secondary should be proud of that effort right there, bringing up 4th and forever. And now they get the ball back with, should be about 30 seconds to go.
Marquez is averaging just under 38 yards a punt. He stands 3 yards deep in the end zone. 34.7 seconds remaining. Cougars have all 3 timeouts remaining. Rixey's back at the Reinhardt 44. Here's a high sailing kick, nice kick. Rixey doesn't want any part of it, and it takes a high bounce and does not turn over. It's going to be down at about the 39 of Reinhardt. So St. Francis has got a chance again to put a late drive and add to that 24-7 lead.
And, Joe, they've got a short field to do this. Now, look at this. Okay, 27 seconds remaining. The ball is at the 39-yard line. We've seen the ability of Nick Ferrer to go over the top and find a receiver down there. Unfortunately, his 2 good targets tonight that have been there for him are not in. So will Crispin show up? Will Rixey show up? These are the questions we have. And maybe it's a Spino. Who knows? Or will they just keep it on the ground and call it good for the half?
Andreas Gomez-Espino sets up slot left. Split wide of him. Left side, I believe that's Rixey. And Ferrer trying to put something together now, maybe at least get a field goal. Here comes the pressure again. Steps up in the pocket and can't get rid of the ball. And sacked outside the 45-yard line.
This will tell us a lot if they call a timeout, and they do. So what that tells me right there is that they will not be satisfied just by taking a knee and going into the locker room with a 24-7 lead. If Coach Donley stopped the clock, he wants to try again.
St. Francis. First short timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Cougars take their first timeout. They've got 2 remaining, but maybe time for 2-3 plays depending. Of course, if you go vertical, that takes more time. Clock would stop, of course, on a first down made. But with the loss back outside the 45, it'll be 2nd down and 16. USF trying to get it down. We'll have to give Gavin Gardner at least a shot at a field goal attempt.
They need probably, what, 20 yards here, Joe? Maybe about the 26, something like that?
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you don't know what kind of real shape he's in after going out 2 weeks ago with that hip injury.
Right.
Maybe a good place for that screen that worked so well a little bit earlier with Green. We will see. Empty backfield now for Ferrer. 3 wide to his left, 2 wide to the right. Got to hurry, though. Here's Ferrer looking. Pressure's coming. Loads. Throws left side. He's got a catch down. That's Green. Green cuts to his right. Inside the 20 to the 15 to the 10. Got pushed out of bounds at around the 8-yard line. Justin Green, and boy, wide open right down the middle of the field.
Yeah, they didn't cover him. Again, it was a trips package to the left. He was in the close slot and goes right through the middle, and that's where Ferrer finds him right in line. He makes a move, makes a miss, gets a downfield block, and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 10 seconds remaining. What a beautifully executed play.
Again, Rocky James is back out there. Here comes Chrisman. James will check out of there. Andreas Gomez-Espino also comes out. You got to be quick, though. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 8-yard line.
I'm sensing up and out to Chrisman. He's at the tight end spot, left side.
Here is Ferrer looking, gives the ball to Green, halfback pass. No, it's Ferrer looking. Get rid of the ball, throws back left. He's got a catch, and that's Chrisman battling down inside the 5, got to the 4, but time is going to run out. That took way too long, unless it is going to be halftime. Want to make sure that officials are going to talk and see whether there's going to be any time put back up on the clock. We will wait and see. Vince Hayes will let us know momentarily.
Reinhardt was making their way to the locker room, and now they might be getting called back off the field.
The previous play is under review for the time on the clock.
They're going to take a look at the play and where the clock actually stood. So nobody's going to the halftime dressing room yet. They'll go upstairs. Well, this is the first. Will we get the video replay?
Right.
We're special.
I guess so. That's right.
Anyway, the review continues, and Kevin Donley with his offensive unit grouped around him on the field. They're hoping they've got a chance for at least one more play call.
Well, again, and at this point, okay, so if in fact you do get another play out of this review, do you just chip in a field goal?
He's trying to look at make the count, but I think what cost him was Chrisman. I mean, credit for Will, he would not go down, reaching for extra yardage. And boy, I tell you what, James Miller is not happy. He came all the way out on the field and got in the face of a couple of the officials to give them an earful. Still no decision whether we are at the half or there will be a time for St. Francis to take one of their 2 remaining timeouts and at least give Gardner a chance to try to make it a 27-7 lead.
Oh, and now they have the clock aligned with the play on the big screen here, so we're able to watch as Chrisman makes that play, gets a stiff arm out there, and then he tries to go laterally to try and get out of bounds.
He's down, though, right there with 1.6. There's time on the clock. Or is he still reaching?
I think he was still reaching.
But there's under a second.
There's under a second right there when he gets to the sidelines.
Well, you heard the USF crowd below us. They saw what we saw. And there should be time remaining for the Cougars to at least attempt a field goal unless you want to try to go for 6.
The ball is at the 5. And it looks like we have the call coming up.
You didn't have any plans tonight, did you?
No.
The runner was down and the clock had expired. Halftime.
Oh. Wow.
Well, there you go. Who are you going to believe, me or your lion eyes?
Yeah. Wow.
So that is the way that will end. There will be a 24-7 lead for St. Francis, all banged up in this first half. But the lead is a lead. It's a 17-point lead. And Reinhardt will have the ball first when we start this second half. 24-7 here at the halftime break. And we'll be back with our halftime presentation. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. And we are back at Daytona Beach. Let's go down one more time with the Judge Phil Houck. I think he's got someone to talk to.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Actually, I wanted to talk about what was going on in the locker room late. Last words that Coach Donley had for his team. He talked about wanting to play snap to whistle, don't get involved in extracurricular activities. He said if you do that and if you force a couple, and he challenged his defense to force a couple of punts here in the third quarter, he says we will walk out of here as national champions today. A lot of the talk offensively, of course, was trying to figure out how to fill in for the two slot receivers that are injured, and there's not a lot of depth back there. So, but there were a lot of plays that were left on the table that weren't even tried in the first half. Look for the Cougars to maybe employ some more running attack, and that means it's Justin Green time. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Judge Phil Hawk, with us tonight, and hopefully we have a chance to maybe go back down to him for some post-game interviews as well. But 30 minutes of playoff football remain. USF basically with a three-score lead, leading at 24-7. But Reinhardt, they will get the ball, and first couple of minutes are going to tell the tale, I think, about St. Francis, whether they will repeat as national champions.
Again, throughout this year, Joe, what we've seen is the ham and egg approach. This team works so very well together. The defense steps up and does their job, giving good field position to the offense. The offense scores touchdowns or puts points in the basket, does their job. They feed off of each other and work so very well together that when one side is doing well, it brings up the other side, and Momo is created, and then you've got W's on the scoreboard. So let's see what happens here in the second half.
Cougars ready to kick it away from right to left. Reinhardt with Odom's back. Here comes the kick, short end over end. Drifting far side, that'll be fielded at and fumbled away at the 19-yard line. But then they pick up and a run across the 25 to the 27. And I tell you what, Reinhardt has been an adventure tonight at times, handling kickoffs and punt returns.
Yeah, that's at least the third kickoff that we've seen that has just not been fielded well.
And you wonder, maybe, because Rixey has not wanted any part of a punt so far tonight. So maybe you just don't get losing it in the lights. I don't know what the situation is.
It's a great observation, but let's hope it stays like that.
1st and 10, Reinhardt moving from left to right. They've got the ball, and they set the team down. Billy Hall in there at quarterback. Sweep coming up to the right side, and there's running room. A cutback across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Pearson Harnish gets off the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, so very fast. Again, quarterback under center. Now it's up tempo. They're back up to the line again. And again, with the quarterback under center, those quick gives, it just happens immediately.
Quay Stocks with a gain of 2 yards. Boy, there was a big-time block in the back as Hall scrambles, lunges for the first down. Tell you what, referee Vince Hayes, I don't know what he was looking at. It looked like Coward just got leveled in the back, and no flag.
Yeah, that was really not a good call, or a bad miss call right there. But thank goodness for Pearson Harnish, who took a great pursuit angle to get out there on the flats and knock the quarterback down. 1st
and 10, though, for the Eagles. They've got it at the 39. Hall sets them down again. Motion Stocks, gives it off to Kane. Kane angling it to about the 40 to 41-yard line. So the 235-pound running back gets about a yard.
Yeah, it's kind of some elementary plays right here. The running back's in motion, cutting across the line, ends up being a lead blocker, and then it's just student body left or student body right, looking for a seam or looking for a push, and they didn't get any on that one.
You wonder if and when Reinhardt will have to go to the air. Now they've got 2nd and 9. Shotgun formation for Billy Hall, the freshman. Looks to throw, being spun around and got away. Now runs, gets back to about the 36. He'll lose yardage. Now somebody's towel came out on the field. Eric Hemmelgarn getting off the bottom of the pile.
How he got out of Jameson's paws is unbelievable. That's amazing. Great athletic move to spin out of that sack. But he turns to get north and try and get his bearings, and he's hit immediately. So still a sack on the play, but not by Jameson, the first man through.
3rd down and 13 as the Eagles try to reach their own 49-yard line.
See if they can force the punt. Coach talked about it at halftime. This is a big one.
You got 2 wide to the left. That's the 3 wide. Bunch line up to the short side to their left. Hall out of the gun, takes the snap, wants to throw. Looks, steps up, rolls to his right side. Now he's forced to run. Gets away from one, tripped up and knocked down at the 39-yard line. Pearson Harnish got enough of an ankle to slow him up.
He wouldn't let go. Pearson Harnish doing a fine job. The quarterback tried to out-juke him and could not. Keeps a hold of him and drops him. Got a gain of a couple, but still 4th and 11, and here comes the punt team. They forced the first punt. That was a huge victory for the USF defense to open this 3rd quarter.
Rixey back in punt return at the Cougar 25-yard line. So Marquez in to punt it away, waits at the Reinhardt 24-yard line. 12-11 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Waiting for the snap. Comes back. Marquez rushes on, got the kick away. Nice floating kick Rixey looking for it. Got it at the 21. Knee hit right there, but he wanted to make sure. Covering up on that football. I'll take a knee as long as I got control of that football.
Yeah, a little insurance never hurt anybody.
So the USF offense will check into the ball game, but first we've got this word from Sean.
Folks, H&L Electric is your full-service electrical contractor from commercial and industrial to residential. H&L Electric can handle the smallest to the largest projects for your business. Call Pete Henry and friends at H&L Electric.
Well, you normally at Cougar football, Sean would be talking about other games going on elsewhere, games of importance, but guess what? There is none tonight as far as the NAIA is concerned.
That's right.
We are the game, this national championship. We talked about it earlier. The Cougars, going back, they had great teams. Brian Kurtz from Bishop Luers. They had Corey Jackway from New Haven. Both those were players of the year. But despite it all, they could not win a national championship. 3 straight trips to Tennessee. A lot of frustration, a lot of futility. And then the change of venue to Florida. It all changed last year with a big win over Baker, 38-17. And a great start here tonight with 24 quick points on the board. Right now it's 24-7, but USF has stopped Reinhardt, at least on the Eagles' first possession. But still a long way to go in this one before we can declare another national champion.
Yeah, a long way to go here, and this will be the interesting look here to see what the offense is able to do, especially through the air. Or will Green just become the workhorse that he already is with additional weight on his back? That is the question as we await the offense to come out onto the field and start this first drive of the third quarter. What strategies does Coach Donley and company have in store for us to overcome the loss of those 2 key receivers? We're about to find out here in moments.
Well, we know that Boswell, his night was done after that fine catch at the 10-yard line. Now we see Blackwell out sitting on the bench, also with his pads off. Rocky James is the other question mark. He has played somewhat sparingly here tonight. Remember, he suffered a dislocated ankle 2 weeks ago against Morningside. The very fact that he's able to get on this football field is almost a minor miracle.
Oh, it's incredible. No question about it. You're right. I would even say more than minor.
Yeah, we were talking to some of the staff. They said, well, the good news, there was no ligament tear, just kind of stretched an ankle. And he's been practicing, but definitely not 100%.
Rather have a root canal.
Now it's 1st and 10. Corners come up in press coverage as here's Green looking for running room. Just takes the pile straight ahead. Trying to fight his way up to about the 25, and that's where they're going to spot the football. So that'll be a gain of about 3.
A nice conservative play on first down there. Give it to your playmaker. Test that line and keep the defense honest.
Now Andreas Gomez-Espino comes in, replacing Nate Carson. I think that's the first time we've seen Nate Carson. He's a guy that has had an impact. Just 9 catches on the year, but 5 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, he sniffs the end zone and finds a way to get open in those tight spaces.
Let's call it 2nd down and 7. Ferrer out of the gun. Looks again to Green. Looked like a little miscommunication on the handoff, and here's Green trying to fight his way up across the 26. Maybe short of the 27. It'll bring up 3rd down call, 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, it looks like Green almost was the way Ferrer was presenting the ball was going to start right, but immediately he had to kind of reach out and grab the ball and go left center. He must have saw that wall collapsing and just tried to get some positive yards.
One guy we really haven't talked a lot about, but Zach Gegner has had some big catches. At 6'2", a senior. Rixey's in wide to the right. Cougars trying to get out at least to their 32-yard line now on this snap. And Ferrer looking to throw and in pressure again, and they've got him. No, he spins away and will get it back to the 25-yard line. So he's going to lose a couple of yards back to the 25. It'll bring up 4th down and 6. And Nepper will come on to punt the ball away with 10:23 remaining in this third quarter. It's still 24-7 St. Francis.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You'd like to see him move the chains a little bit here to start the third quarter, but nothing doing. So both teams are trading punts now as the defenses for both squads have stepped up.
Nepper will set up around the Cougar 11, flexing that right leg. And back in punt return for the Eagles. They'll set up at the 40-yard line. Low snap. Nepper's got it. Kick is away. That one's dying. It'll take a bounce. There's a penalty flag thrown. And here's the return to the 40-yard line and out of bounds, so about the 43. But, boy, that was thrown way over here on the near sideline by the field judge, and we'll see what he saw.
I wonder if that was a holding as the striker was coming down from the outside. Maybe he was getting held up in his pursuit to the return man.
Vince Hayes, our referee tonight, talking to a couple of the officials. They're pointing back to where that flag is sitting right now at the Reinhardt 44. Still no indication.
They moved the flag up to the 50, and it looks like here comes the call now.
Holding. Number 18 is the return team. 2 yards to spot a foul. First down.
Satchel Crawford with the holding call. So they finally sort that out. Now they'll move the ball back. Nose of the football just inside the Eagle 40-yard line. Still decent field position for Reinhardt now. 9:44 on the clock. And once again, the Cougar defense tasked at trying to stop this vaunted rushing attack by the Eagles.
Yeah, they were able to force a punt on their last outing. Here we go again on outing number 2 in the second half.
All under center's got motion to the left side, hands it off, and a curl play off tackle to the left side up to the 45.
These guys run so hard, Joe, that arm tackling just simply will not cut it whatsoever. They hit the hole fast, and the good blocking up front by the Reinhardt Eagles.
Is a gain of 5, though. Second down, nose of the football just inside the Eagle 45-yard line. Now Hall back in the shotgun formation. One wide to the right in motion this side. Swafa's coming up, and here's a gain out to midfield into Cougar territory, and a cutback, and nearly a fumble of football, but that one held on, and the Eagles, they are into USF territory on the sweep by Quanti Green.
Yeah, they drill that so hard. You can tell the way they execute that. Those lead blockers out there have worked so hard throughout the year, keeping their blocks and moving those feet very fast. They can get around that edge very quickly.
1st and 10 at the USF 43-yard line for the Eagles. Shotgun formation again. Freshman Billy Hall looks, hands the ball off, and the running room off the right tackle. Again, it was Green. Tried to spin off a tackle. Good play defensively. Lee Stewart came up and run support.
That's it. Lee Stewart did a fine job cutting that supply line off right there for the running back. He twisted out of it. He gets hammered immediately down to the ground.
Call it gain of 4, however. 2nd down and 6. Eagles working from the right side hash mark. Motion near side. They'll give it off again and straight ahead carry to the 26-yard line. That's short of the first down. Trying to reach the Cougar 33 now on this snap coming up.
Yeah, nothing fancy here by this offense. Again, just a hard-charging power football team on display. And they've got a test coming up now, 3rd and 3.
Just over 8 minutes remain in the quarter. Quarter 3, 24-7. All again will back up and set up out of the shotgun. 2 wide to the left side. Looking in, wants to throw over the middle. Being pursued, got away from one, curls up the middle, and dropped for a back around the 38-yard line. That's going to be a loss to bring up 4th down. And now what do you do if you're the Eagles?
Well, sometime at one point, you're going to have to be in 4-down territory regardless of where you are in the field. And they might be here right now. But Hemmelgarn shot right through the middle, flushed him out of the pocket. He tried to make something out of nothing. And Dutton stuck him along with Pearson Harnish.
Now it's going to be 4th down and a long 4. Trying to reach the Cougar 33-yard line on this snap.
Watch the hard count.
Billy Hall once again. Now maybe changing the play call at the line of scrimmage. He's got 1 wide either side of the field. Wants to throw. Looks, throws the ball up. Near side's got a man downfield, and the catch is made inside the Cougar 15 to the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They don't throw often, but that time I believe that was Ronnie Chambers, or Chambliss, I should say, on the catch. And it'll be 1st and 10.
That was the first positive reception by Reinhardt for the entire game. They tried 4 times earlier, had 1 catch for -1. That was a great throw.
Now you got to believe they'll go back to the run game. They'll hand it off now, and here will be a dive down inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. So the straight ahead carry, they shuttle players in, they shuttle players out with 6:36 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Eagles trying to tighten the game if they can. One wide again to the right side. Here's motion by Quay Stocks. Second back gets the call, and he's hammered down inside the 3 to the 2. That was Logue, I believe, Stanley Logue, that went airborne, got what he could. It'll be third down. They can pick up a first down just outside the USF 1. Spot the ball just inside the Cougar 4. Well, if you wanted a goal line stand, now would be the time.
Now would be the time. It's a critical third down right here, and if they can stuff them at the line of scrimmage, now again you're at 4 down, and they've already demonstrated that it is 4 down territory, and now they're even closer to the goal.
Now they've got Kane back in there as the running back, lined up very close to the line of scrimmage, and let's see if he's got the first down. Well, I tell you what, there is a lot of extracurriculars going on everywhere except at the point of attack.
They need to blow that whistle sooner. That's just all there is to it.
They didn't get the first down. It'll be fourth down and about 1.5 yards at just inside the Cougar 3-yard line. Interesting decision. James Miller with a field goal could make it a 2-score difference. They're taking a lot of time with 15 on the play clock. They're going to run a play.
I don't think Reinhardt thinks 3 is enough.
Under center, Hall looking, motion by Stocks. They'll give Stocks the ball, and he's looking for the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown, I believe. Yes, touchdown from 3 yards out at the 5:06 mark. Instead of settling for 3, they got 6 on a Quay Stocks sweep to the left side.
I think we've got a Cougar down still. Slow getting up. I think that's Lee Stewart, Joe.
Time of the score, 5:06. So now Reinhardt has scored the game's last 13 points after the Cougars scored the game's first 24. Looks like trying to find Lee Stewart out there right now. And
he's still on the field. He says, get off, I'm done, I'm good. Coach has to come out and said, no, you're coming out for a play.
So they, having been injured, they'll allow him to get off the field. And now let's see what Reinhardt tries to do with that swinging gate on the extra point, whether they will try for 2 out of this. Hall, meanwhile, lined up behind his offensive lineman. And now they switch back with the traditional extra point attempt, coming up with Hall being the holder and Marquez to try to make it a 24-14 ball game. Kick is on the way. That one might have been deflected.
No
and
good.
It is no good.
Oh, my.
I believe that was blocked by somebody in the middle. So it's a lead of 11. 24-13 with a timeout here at Daytona Beach, Florida. And the Cougars, can they get something going offensively to protect this lead? We'll find out. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
College isn't about where you go or what you'll be. It's about how you live. The University of St. Francis helps students understand how their education and experience make the world a better place. USF graduates are skilled and highly sought by the top businesses in our region. Schedule a personalized campus visit today at admissions.sf.edu/visit.
So the Eagles get on the board once again on the 3-yard sweep to the left side by Quay Stocks. That gets them within 11, but the extra point was, it looked from here like it was partially blocked and no good. So 24-13, still just over 5:06 remaining, and basically, if you want to look ahead, 20:06 remaining in this ball game.
Yeah, that's precisely right, Joe. And again, we've got a little extra time to talk about this. When the St. Francis started the third quarter, after the defense showed up and stuffed Reinhardt, they had to punt, and so I don't know that they found an answer yet to their missing receivers, but the passing attack was not there. Ferrer did not have the pocket to even attempt it at that one point. So, is it enough to try and outlast Reinhardt? I don't know that it is, because, again, they've just demonstrated that they can make a drive and they can put it together. You have to be able to throw some. That drive proved this kid can throw. Not often, obviously, but it looked like a great pass to me. So the offense is going to have to find a solution here.
Yeah, and I think Coach, was talking to the judge, Phil Houck, earlier, did recognize they're going to have to adjust their game strategy, and you can't always be going vertical because you just don't have the time for Ferrer. Would he have 4 sacks in the first half? I believe something like that. But still a lot of football to be played in this one, and USF has got to dig down deep as they have all season long. We've talked about this Cougar team being resilient. They've lost Sean Boswell. They've lost Duke Blackwell. Lee Stewart a little banged up. And who's going to stand up? Who's going to take command and say, hey, give me the football? You think Justin Green, perhaps? And they've had success at using him as a pass receiver.
Yeah, they have. They put him in the slot, or at least a quick out, a wheel route, and get that playmaker alone in space with the ball, and good things happen. Joe, not to get off topic here, but some late breaking news coming out of Fort Wayne football. Looks like Joe Tippmann, the standout from Bishop Dwenger High School, has verbally committed to the University of Wisconsin, and just got news of that tonight. So hats off to the Tippmann family, and especially Joe, the standout lineman from Bishop Dwenger High School.
You know, it's great to see some of our local kids going on to big programs. You know, we all come always at St. Francis, but, you know, when you signed, you looked at Jalen Smith going to Notre Dame here a few years back, and now Joe Tippmann. Now here comes the kick. Got to watch, and they do kick it long and deep. That's Green, 3 yards deep in the end zone, and thought about bringing out, and now he's going to take a knee.
Good for him. Yeah,
good
call. Yep, I like it.
So St. Francis will start 1st and 10 at the Cougar 25-yard line with 5:06 remaining in this third quarter, trying to hang on to a lead that now is 11. USF scored the first 24 points of the ball game. Gardner with a field goal of 22 yards. Then Green with a big run of 80 yards to the house. Ferrer to Blackwell, good for 16 yards, a touchdown. Green again dances 10 yards into the end zone. But from there on out now, it's been Reinhardt, Trevay Kane with a 2-yard touchdown run, and now Quay Stocks with a 3-yard sweep left side to make it 24-13. Ferrer looking and hands the ball. There's Green, and they're not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. They just do get there to the 25.
Wow. Defensive end really timed his rush on the snap right there. Got in around the edge, was able to get a handout at the mesh point there, and drag Green down for no gain whatsoever.
Well, we haven't talked a lot about Tevin McCoy here tonight. Has the team lead with 8.5 sacks coming into this ball game, 17 tackles for loss, and he is lightning quick. He's just a junior. 5'11", 210. No gain, 2nd down and 10. Crowd very quiet below us. That's the Cougar crowd. Gigner now splits out into the slot to the right side. Empty backfield, 3 wide to the left, 2 wide to the right. 3 back in coverage. They drop the linebackers back as well. Ferrer back there by his lonesome. Looks, throws near side. There's a wide pass and incomplete. Gomez could not find the handle. Andreas Gomez-Espino.
It was a tough one. They were asking a lot to catch a ball like that. But, yeah, you'd like to see get that back and maybe get another foot or two underneath that ball so he could have scraped it off the carpet. But incomplete pass. Rocky James in on this 3rd down call. St. Francis trying to reach their own 35. Now Nate Blackwell comes in, or I should say Nate Carson. So big play in the ball game with still 4:20 remaining here in the third quarter. Press coverage on the outside by the corners. Now they show blitz defensive left side. Here is Ferrer, got to get rid of it, throws the ball away, and it'll be 4th down coming up, and again, just not enough time for Ferrer to do anything with it. Well, hats off to the Reinhardt defense, because now again another punting situation for the University of St. Francis and another short field coming up for the Reinhardt Eagles. And we've seen them do, well, a lot of damage with a short field. I thought Ferrer might have had Green to his left luring out of the backfield, but he was not looking that way at all. So now it'll be Nepper in the punt, and it'll be great field position once again for the Eagles. Here's Nepper with a kick away. High, not all that deep. Fair catch is called for, and that is made at the 38-yard line. So Reinhardt gets the ball back, trailing it by 11, with still better than 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. And we will have another timeout on the field, so let's pause for this word. 24-13 is our score. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
This is David X with Union Savings Bank Mortgage Department. So happy to support Bishop Lures and Bishop Dwenger student athletes who work so hard to be the best they can be. I'm here to support you too as you look for mortgage lending. If you need a home loan, pick up the phone and call me, 418-6191 anytime, for low closing costs and great rates. 418-6191. I offer what you want, low closing costs and great rates. Call 418-6191. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back at Daytona Beach, Florida with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 39-yard line. And the defense being tested now by St. Francis as they've got to find a way to stop this Eagle running attack.
Football fans, tonight's game is brought to you by the University of St. Francis. Located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, USF is a private Catholic university enrolling students on campus and online. With over 70 programs from undergrad to doctoral degrees, a USF education has a lot to offer. Check out the University of St. Francis today at sf.edu.
Cougar defense out there. Once again, Jordan May, Eric Hemmelgarn, James Jamesich, the front down three normally. Eric Dutton out there with Pearson Harnish, Stan Jackson, Spencer Coward, Blake Schumacher. Mention a few of them.
And Joe, you'd like to see these guys get a little more of a rest. You'd like to see the offense get a first down or two, keep time getting chewed off the clock there. Give these guys a breather, but a 3-and-out really does not give them a whole lot of time to rest and recover over here on the sidelines. And now they're back at it. So I guess in one way, being here at the National Championship and having these long media timeouts is kind of a blessing for the defense. Gives them a few extra breaths and some more time to rest and recover.
By the way, Sean, I missed the guy down there. They're going to go with Ahmad Rucker, the 6'1", 322-pound senior. Remember, he had an interception earlier in the year.
Right, yes.
Couldn't believe it was in his hands, the big fella.
Defensive tackle.
So the Cougars with a 4-down lineman attack right now.
Yeah, he's good on the run stop.
Here we go, though. Reinhardt with a chance to get closer. They trail by 11. 4:08 remains here in the third quarter. Now they mark the ball ready for play. And Billy Hall, gone all the way tonight. The freshman quarterback sets his team down, motion near side. Gives it straight run right in the direction of Ahmad Rucker. That'll be a gain across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Ball might have thought it popped free for a second there. Logue on the carry that kind of came up the ball, showed to the official that he still had it.
Yeah.
That's a gain of about a little more than 3.
Tremendous collision right there in the middle. Pads are popping.
Mano to mano right now. 2nd down, and let's call it 6. Hall again, this time out of the gun. Wants to throw near side's got a man wide open and missed him.
Wow.
Well, that was blown coverage by St. Francis. Stewart came over, but he was going to be there late. And I believe Wilmer Cole, they're going to talk and try to get their signals right. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, Cole looks like he released him, and the safety wasn't back there for really help. That close. That was, wow.
Now the Eagles try to reach their own 49 on this snap. Don't believe they're in 4-down yardage here. Let's see. Hall with motion near side, read option. They on a sweep that's coming to the right. And they'll get only to the 46. Let's see where they're going to mark that football. A couple of yards short. And now a decision again for Reinhardt with still a lot of time remaining. Just over 3 minutes in this quarter. And they mark that ball, nose of the football inside the Reinhardt 47. Rucker checked out, now comes back in. Marcus Stepp leaves the game. And the Eagles going to go for it. So big play right now. Hall under center. And he's got motion far side on the sweep coming up. And let's see, second effort, they've got it. Gain out to midfield. Looking again, that was Jace Jordan on the carry, a freshman, 205-pounder. And they move the chains. Big gamble, and it pays off for the Eagles.
Yeah, and again, they don't have that outstanding stud running back that they go to time after time after time. So if you have fresh legs and lots of power, you get that second effort.
Montrelius Mosley checks in. He's up on the wing to the left side. Shotgun formation again for Hall. Out of the gun, motion near side. Read option. They'll hand the ball off. There's running room, and they've got another first down inside the Cougar 40 to the 39. That was a run by Quaney Green.
Yeah, St. Francis is really giving up the edge at this point because, again, these plays, a lot of them jet sweep right or power left, and they're just outmanning the edge, and the line is doing a great job.
Eagles on the move once again at the Cougar 39. Motion near side. And here is Hall wanting to throw. Steps up, throws downfield. Got a man downfield. Ball in and out of the hands of the receiver downfield. That was Ronnie Chambliss making a bid to bring up first and goal, but incomplete.
Great coverage that time by Stan Jackson, number 22 that time, doing a great job getting in there, getting in the face of the receiver, and I believe he might have had a hand on the ball too.
Second down and 10 already. The Eagles, they do not huddle up. They're at the line of scrimmage once again. And it will be second down and 10. Motion near side. They'll hand it on a sweep coming near side. And looking, and that's a good tackle from the backside. That was a gain by Mosley. A couple of yards only to the USF 37. See where they put that ball down. Yes, they do at the 37. It'll be third down and long.
Yeah, they brought the corner blitz that time. Coward came in up to the line, and he was able to pursue on the backside, took a great angle, and stopped him after two.
Trying to get to the USF 29. Third down and long. Under center is Hall. Motion near side. Drops the throw. Has time. Looks. Angles to his left. Throws short, and it missed an open receiver at the USF 22.
Wow. That was just an off throw. He threw it behind the receiver, who was also flowing out to the left side. He was running and just kind of threw it behind him. He got a hand on it, but nothing more. So a great athletic move right there to try and bring that ball in, but he couldn't do it.
I believe that was Quaney Green, who goes 5'10", but he could not extend up to just basically get one hand on the ball. It'll be fourth down and 8, and it looks like they're going to bring in the punt team now with 1:23 remaining in the quarter. So that's a big stop for USF, forcing the punt. Cougars not completely convinced. Going to drop Lee Stewart a little bit back, but Marquez is out there waiting at the 46-yard line. And now what do we have?
We've got a timeout on the field. The officials are conferring, and both sides are going to their respective sidelines. Let's see the call.
One game. Offense. 5 yards. Fourth down.
So that'll add 5 yards. Delay of game, the call against the Eagles. Instead of 4th and 8, it'll be 4th down and 13.
That one doesn't really hurt Reinhardt too badly right there. Again, if you've got your punter coming on, a little extra 5 yards, maybe even give him an opportunity to get it deeper into the corner without kicking it into the end zone right away.
Now the Cougars a little more confident it will be a punt. They bring Rixey in, waits back at the USF 10. Marquez at the 43, waiting for the snap to punt the ball away. Here's the delivery. Rush is coming. Kick is away short and off the side of his foot, I believe, near side. Takes a bounce out of bounds, I believe, somewhere around the 15. We'll wait and see where they line that ball up. Cougar players, come on up. And they will mark it out of bounds right about the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, but USF, they've had problems moving the football here in the second half, minus some key players offensively, and still trying to cling to that 24-13 lead.
Yeah, and they've got to get some first downs here. They've got to get that defense off the field, get them rested. That's 2 forced punts here in the second half, and we need to see the offense now step up and give these guys a break and get out of this third quarter. 1:16 left.
Justin Green in there in the backfield, offset to the left side. 2 wide to the right. That's the wide side for Ferrer's. Got motion now back to the near side. Counter run coming up Green. Green looking for running room, trying to turn the corner. Can't find it. Has to step out of bounds around the 12-yard line.
Yeah, great pursuit by that defense. They are fast, and they're keying on Green. And so he didn't have any opportunities on that play.
That'll be a loss. Going to mark the ball back around the 13, a loss of a couple, so it'll be second down and let's call it 12. Under a minute time remaining in the second quarter. Now Chrisman checks out of the game. Rocky James comes back in, and he'll be joined by Andreas Gomez Espino. Play clock at 14. Cougars do huddle up now. Rixey in wide to the right, lone wide to the right side, and 2 wide to the left. 3 back in coverage once again. Here's Ferrer looking to throw. Looking, throws over the middle, and that's a tough catch going down at the 22. Catch is made, and that is Andreas Gomez-Espino. That's short of the first down, but that's got to give that young man some confidence. He's been battling all this season. It'll be third down and a couple.
Yeah, the Snyder standout, boy, he came up big on that one. Again, another very low throw. He had to because he was covered up, and he was able to hang on to it, roll up, and it's a good catch.
Cougars will take the game to the start of the fourth quarter. The final seconds tick away. So USF needing still a first down when we return here to Daytona Beach, Florida. But their lead is 24-13 over the second-ranked Reinhardt University Eagles. And we'll be back for quarter four action. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Make a difference in your life and others by joining. Every great team has focus and talent, and at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. You can trust us to bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you. Go to parkview.com/sportsmedicine to learn how we can help you and the athletes in your life be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
Knights of Columbus Insurance has protected Catholic families since 1882. With charity as the focal point, Venerable Father Michael J. McGivney founded Knights of Columbus in New Haven, Connecticut as a way for Catholics to protect Catholics. Father McGivney knew firsthand hardships families endure when the breadwinner passes away, having lost his own father while at seminary. With over $100 billion of life insurance protection in force, Knights of Columbus are in a strategic position to help its members and families. Mike Lay has served members in Fort Wayne and Decatur since 2013. Call him for the Catholic Difference, 260-438-8677.
Back at Daytona Beach, Florida, with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. And Sean, I don't believe I see helmet on. I see jersey on for Sean Boswell, but he's also got a crutch. I'll tell you what, he'd love to get back in there, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's fully padded up, raring to go, but you can't take the crutch out on the field, Sean.
It's not lacrosse, right?
That's right.
So the Cougars have it. It'll be third down and needing a long two, trying to get the ball up to about their own 24-yard line on this snap. So we've talked about so many big plays coming up. Here's another one. Rixey in, split wide to the near side. Meanwhile, they're waiting for the ESPN crew to return from their media break, as both teams just kind of standing around, cooling their heels as we head to the final 15 minutes of championship football, barring overtime. And right now, that does not look likely with St. Francis an 11-point lead. And Reinhardt would need a couple of touchdowns. A touchdown and a field goal would not do it for him.
How about Espino on that catch, Joe? Giving some breathing room and a manageable third down here. Very, very important.
Well, here we go. Vince Hayes, our referee, marks the ball ready for play. Play clock is running. Pistol alignment now for Ferrer. Looking, wants to throw. Looks, throws near side. There's Rixey with the catch at the 25, and that's good enough for a first down. Boy, I tell you what, that is right at the spot. And Taylor Hawkins had the coverage, but good play by Rixey, and we need him.
Boy, oh boy, and a great route that time. He knew right where that stick was. He went out, cut back towards Ferrer to give him a better target with an open chest right there, and he hit him right there in the numbers. He went down 1st and 10. That's what we're talking about. Let's move the chains here on offense.
I believe Ryan Sonater's out there now as the running back, possibly. Let's check that. And there's motion by, here's Ferrer looking. No, he did hand the ball off in a turn. Boy, I tell you what, as Andreas Gomez-Espino looked like he was going to be able to turn the corner, and then Reinhardt said, no, young man, you will not turn it. And it'll be a gain maybe of only about a half a yard.
Well, again, that was secondary pursuit that time. Watching Sonater as the lead blocker out there, he put a lick on that corner out there. Beautifully executed block. But the defensive backs from the other side came in and got there before Espino could go north and south.
Call it no gain. Second down in 10. Rixey splits wide to the short side to the left. Nate Carson back in again up on the slot to the right. Will Chrisman split wide of that. Here's motion to the near side. as Ferrer looking, and throws over the middle, and there's a comeback catch. It'll run across the 35 to the 40-yard line and up to the 46, and there is Andres Gomez-Espino, and he has come alive for the Cougars when they need him most.
What a huge catch that time by the St. Francis. Boy, oh boy, Ferrer under pressure, dancing around back there, looking for a receiver over the middle. Good catch, another first down. The offense is back on the rails. Here we go.
And, Sean, can you imagine, you make a couple of good plays, and that just builds your confidence, and that's a young man that the Cougars need right now.
Darn right.
Casey Call into the ball game now. Part of a trips package to the right side. Actually, they've got a tight end. That might be Gegner here to the near side as Ferrer takes the snap again, looks to Green. Green going nowhere. Hauled down for a loss back around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, big blitz package that time. Run blitz shot through that gap in between the tackle and the tight end. And no answer for big number 48 as he shot that gap and took Green down immediately.
Dawson Mitchell, who came in leading the Eagles with 50 tackles. That's a loss of about 6. Second down and 16 now. The clock a factor. Approaching 12.5 minutes remaining. Crispin in wide to the left side. Cougars trying to ultimately get to the 44 of Reinhardt. 2 back deep. And there was motion near side. Might be a free play. Here's Ferrer throwing the ball up, and that's up for grabs. And it is incomplete, but that should get that lost yardage back to bring up second down and about 11.
And interestingly, Joe, it's been a fairly clean game from a penalty perspective here. I guess if we look at, I think we got some third quarter numbers here.
JT Graydon, by the way, with that offside call.
That'll be 75 yards. That's 6 penalties for 75 yards for Reinhardt.
That's a good night for the Eagles, Sean.
Not bad.
They're over 100.
That's right.
Of course, we still have 12 minutes.
Surely. And USF checking in after the third quarter numbers right there. 3 penalties for 29 yards. So a great game for penalties for the Cougars.
James wide to the left side. Now the Reinhardt Eagles show blitz again, and got Ferrer. The arm might have been hit as you throw the ball for James, and incomplete. That was well covered downfield.
No flags there.
There might have been a claim either way on that one.
I agree.
But a no call, and it brings up third down and 11 with the Cougars trying to reach the 44. And the incomplete pass, clock stopped with 12:13 remaining.
And that's probably the best call. Again, if it could have gone either way, which you and I agree, Joe, then don't call it. So an incomplete pass, and now the Cougars are hard up against it on third and long.
Nate Carson comes in, replaces Andreas Gomez-Espino. Carson slot left. Rocky James split wide of him. And here's Ferrer out of the gun. There was movement by Green, but no penalty flag. Now they do have the flag. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know what Vince Hayes was waiting for. He waited about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Come on, Mr. Official. He had brain lock on that one because that play was well underway.
You put a quarterback at great risk when you don't call that and blow the whistle immediately. Boy, oh boy.
So now it'll be third down and even longer. Ball back at the USF 40-yard line. Still with the objective of trying to get it to the Reinhardt 41. Gomez-Espino comes back in. And here we go. Still 12:13 remaining. Green offset to the right side. He's not been much of a factor in the second half. Here's Ferrer looking to throw. Takes time. Throws short. Rixey at the 40. Cuts back to the right and rolls out to about the 47-yard line. They may give him another yard. But it will bring up fourth down with the clock moving inside of 12 minutes now, and still USF clinging to that 24-13 lead. They scored 24 first-half points. They've been 0 for the second half.
Yeah, and I kind of thought they were going to do something like that. Again, an underneath throw that time as Reinhardt was in more of a prevent-style defense there, preventing anything over the top. So just a few more yards to give them a more effective punt.
Knepper, the whistle's blew right before the snap.
Reinhardt's coach is out past the numbers. He's kind of upset about something, but Reinhardt calls the timeout.
Did Reinhardt take that timeout?
They did.
They have 2 remaining. We have 11:32 on the clock here in this fourth quarter. Still 24-13, USF trying to hang tough. And this is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
The University of St. Francis wants to know how you pay it forward by helping others. The new Pay It Forward Scholarship is created especially for students who give back to their community. Incoming USF applicants are eligible for awards from $2,000 to a full tuition scholarship. Turn your good deeds into a college education. Learn more at admissions.sf.edu.
With Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. Welcome back to Florida. Well, the drama continues. USF minus a lot of its wide receiver and scoring threats and receiving threats, trying to hang on and relying on their defense to try to slow down this rushing attack. Reinhardt coming in, leading the nation, NAIA nation, averaging over 350 yards a game on the ground, and they have been a force to contend with in the second half, drawing within 11 points of number one ranked USF.
Yeah, they surely have, Joe. And we remember Phil's report there at the halftime break. Coach said if we can force Reinhardt to punt a couple times here in the second half, we'll be okay. Well, they've done that, okay? But still, nobody feels confident about this. 11 and a half to go here in the game, and Reinhardt has shown that they can really show up. When we look at the end of the third quarter numbers here, it is rather shocking what's happened. That 46 rushing plays for Reinhardt at the end of the third quarter, 198 yards on the ground. USF had 22 rushing plays for 104. So again, that third quarter for Reinhardt was a big one on the ground, and now they still threaten. We were talking too, Joe, about that missed point after. That could be a huge difference maker. Let's hope it's not, but it could be.
Well, basically means Reinhardt has to have 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Touchdown and a field goal would not do it. Might have to go for a 2-point try on a touchdown, but we're a long way from that. Nepper waits at his own 35-yard line to punt this ball away. Well, at times the Eagles have been an adventure back there handling punts and kickoffs, so we'll see what happens here. Waiting for the snap. Here it comes now. Nepper rushes on, kick is away. Wobbly ball down the middle. That'll be a fair catch called at the 17-yard line. Chambliss back there on that punt return. So here we go now with 11:26 remaining. Reinhardt. Well, the last time they had the ball, a couple of times, Sean, they did show an inclination to throw the football. Didn't have much success with it, and we'll see if they try to maybe balance it out a little bit more than strictly a run game with 11:26 and 2 timeouts now just remaining.
Well, and what I like here, Joe, is that Reinhardt is starting inside their own 20. So, again, the offense was able to get a couple first downs on that drive. They weren't able to actually finish, but they're giving the defense a break. They had a rest, and now Reinhardt has a long field.
Billy Hall out of the gun, wants to throw. Looks, sets up, throws long, downfield. He's got a man out there for the ball. That's got to be way out of bounds. No good. It was caught, but only the rear end at that time came down well out of bounds, so incomplete with 11:19 remaining.
Quarterback was pressured. He was hit when he released the ball, so that's going to stick in his craw as well, is that now he needs to release the ball sooner. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a better pass.
But, Sean, he does have an arm.
He does. It's a good-looking throw.
Chambliss again, split wide to the right. Cougars drop off in coverage. 2 safeties back. Hall in the middle. Looking sweep coming up to the left side, or to the right side. And they've got a gain across the 25. Let's see where the running back ran out of bounds. Somewhere around the 27, it looks like. And do they have the first down? They do.
Again, that sweep that they've got is very, very impressive. And it's not the speed of the running back, it's the speed of his blockers and how his receiver corps stays on their blocks out there in open field.
Waystock sets up on the left wing. One back look, motion near side. Here's Hall, rolls to his left, looking to throw. Now he wants to run and hit hard at the 28-yard line.
He paid for that one. Oh, my goodness.
Stan Jackson, Pearson Harnish, you name it. Malachi Mannion, they were all there.
He might need to see the dentist after that one. He was wrapped up, and Harnish threw him down And, wow, no gain.
Clock continues to move. It'll move inside 10.5 minutes before this snap. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Hall again backs up out of the shotgun formation. Running back offset to his left. Looks to throw again. Handles the ball. Throws near side. Stocks has got it. Pivots. Looks to the 32, 33-yard line. Trying to get out of bounds. They'll stop the clock. And that'll bring a 3rd down and 4.
Let's see, kind of a display here of a 2-minute offense by Reinhardt. The quick throws and the hitches, trying to get out of bounds, stop the clock, and some high percentage shots. Now one has to wonder if they're going to do a double move on something like this.
Got to get to the 38. Here's motion again. They'll look on a sweep coming to the right side. And looking, they've got another 1st down. That time on the sweep was Quanti Green. Thought about cutting it up and then turned the corner. And it'll be a new set of downs with 9:54 remaining for the Eagles.
Yeah, no real answer by the Cougar defense here for the end around. Reinhardt can continue to run that pretty much at will whenever they need a good 5 to 7 yard gain.
Now the ball's up at the Eagle 42-yard line. Under center this time, Hall. Motion far side. They'll give it off. Here's an angled run. And cutting it up, I believe that was Green again, stayed in there and works his way to the 45. Maybe got another yard to the 46. He did. Cougars going to bring in Jamesich, was on the bench for rest for a moment, and also Jordan May will come back in.
Yeah.
That was a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Shotgun formation. Hall looks, read option, keeps his own number, spins off a tackle, spins off another one, then buried back around the 40. Well, they're going to give him a mark at the 43. That'll be a loss of about 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Great job penetration up front that time by Hemmelgarn and company. Those defensive ends, the new ones coming in with some fresh legs, some strong shoulders.
Cougars trying to keep fresh troops coming in, coming out. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Reinhardt trying to reach the 48 of USF. Would they go for it on 4th down, trailing with 8:40 remaining? We'll see. Play clock is down to 10. Hall, he's got a bunch lined up to the left side. Now they shift out. They're shifting 4 or 5 guys. Now they got 2 protectors in for Billy Hall. Looks, drops the throw. Pressure's coming. Steps up. He can run. He will run short of the 1st down. Got up to his own 48. And a 4th down call coming up. It'll be 4th down and about a long 4.
Jamesich getting up off the ground there with the quarterback. Oh, he's back down. The quarterback's hurt, Joe.
Billy Hall down on his stomach, rolling over. So there will be a timeout, an injury timeout with 8:09 remaining. There was a decision to be made by the Reinhardt coaching staff. We were told between sophomore Dylan Wiggins and Billy Hall, who would start tonight. Wiggins had played most of the first part of the season, but got injured a couple of games ago, and Billy Hall had to come in and start. Made his first start 2 weeks ago against Southern Oregon. Of course, threw for over 200 yards and got the win, so he did start here tonight. But now a timeout on the field with 8:09 remaining. 24-13, USF still on top by 11. And we'll be back after this timeout. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Dear, do you have any cash? I owe Heather for lunch. Oh, and we need to send Jason money for textbooks.
Sound familiar? Now there's an easier way to pay with People Pay from First Federal Bank. It uses First Federal's mobile app to quickly and securely text or email cash and e-gift cards.
Oh, I still have to get a gift card for Dan's birthday. I think there's an ATM on the way.
Stop hunting for ATMs and start using People Pay. Check it out at first-fed.com/peoplepay. Member FDIC.
Well, Billy Hall being assisted off the field on his feet, but trying not to put any pressure. This has been a hard-hitting game, Sean.
It sure has. It sure has. You know, and you hate to see the injuries, but, you know, what it speaks to is the determination and drive of every player on this field to come out with a victory. And both these squads are playing so hard. And again, you hate to see kids get hurt. And you just pray that everybody's going to be okay in the end.
By the way, that should bring Dylan Wiggins into the game, a 6-foot sophomore quarterback, 64 of 110 through the air. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards, 1127, 7 touchdowns. He's been picked off 3 times tonight, or I should say for the year. And by the way, there have been no interceptions here so far tonight in this ball game. And we have 8 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. And, if you're Jim Miller, the first-year head coach for Reinhardt, you almost got it in a position with 8:09 and just 2 timeouts remaining where you've got to think seriously about going for it and trying to reach the Cougar 48.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Okay, the ball is still on your side of the field, but what does that exactly mean at this point with 8:09 left to go? I mean, it's just, you hate to give the ball up, but boy, it's a tough call.
Sean, you talked about it earlier. They've had such great success sweeps either side, but the big guy, Trevay Kane, is back in there now. He's basically a straight-ahead runner. Here we go. Cougar crowd coming alive. 8:09 remains. Another pivotal play in this championship football game. Dylan Wiggins out of the shotgun formation. Cougars bring up 9 men within about 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. There was movement at the line of scrimmage, and whistles blow.
Now that's probably not offsides on the defense. That's should be a false start if they stop the play.
Vince Hayes again with a couple of his officials, a linesman in there. That would be an automatic first down if it goes against St. Francis. Wow. Offsides against St. Francis. That gives them an automatic first down. They'll move the ball to the USF about the 47. Well, a big call, and you get a new quarterback in, maybe coming with a hard count, and it drew the Cougars offsides. 1st and 10, Reinhardt still alive. Now Jace Jordan, they reposition him on the right wing. Way Stocks is out there on the left wing. They've got a tight end, Gordon Deadly, tight to the right. Dylan Wiggins out of the gun. Motion near side again. Hands it off. Here comes a sweep with blockers in front to the 45 and down to the 41-yard line. And the clock will continue to move as Wilmer Cole had to make that tackle.
Into Cougar territory now at about the 41-yard line. And again, we see a great end around. This is the bread and butter for Reinhardt. And anytime you can get 6-7 yards, you'll take it.
Kwani Green now comes in. About 3-4 players run off the field. Another 3-4 come onto the field. Wiggins out of the gun once again. Sets his team down. Motion. Far side, he wants to throw. Being pursued. Rolls to the right. Steps up. And gets to the Cougar 43. That's going to be a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, that's a sack right there.
Looks like Jamesich got there to make the key stop. So it'll be 3rd down and 6.
You know, it's a tough thing to ask these kids to come in. 4th quarter action, game on the line. You're down 2 scores at least, and they're asking you to win the ball game for you. And you're not accustomed to passing in this, and you haven't done any reps. Man, that's a tough ask.
Green on the left wing. It'll be 3rd down and 6. They'll give the ball to Green. Green being pursued, steps out of a tackle, then hammered right at about the 43. So that'll bring up 4th down. No gain on that play. And now again, Reinhardt with a decision. 4th down and 6 with 6:40 remaining, and the clock is running.
Yeah, Dutton came in and put that shoulder into him and knocked him into next Thursday right there, right on his keister. So here they are. Another huge down for Reinhardt.
Got to go for it. So Reinhardt with one wide to the left side. They've got to reach the Cougar 37 on this snap. Big play in the game. Wiggins out of the gun. Calling out the signals. Short drop. Looks, throws the slant. The ball's caught for a first down inside the Cougar 30-yard line to the 27. So a big catch that time. It's on the money. Wiggins fighting Ace Williams with that big catch.
Tremendous poise by Wiggins in there. Throws a frozen rope into traffic on the slant. And it's good for a first down.
Wiggins under center now. And it looks like Kwani Green back there, and there's the running back. Wants to throw. Looks, throws to the right. Got a wide open man and missed him. Wide open. Again, the Cougars with blown coverage. But nobody home that time, and the Cougars survive. I believe that was Andy Wisnut with the intended receiver, but that one just sailed on Wiggins.
Yeah, boy, if he could have that one back and just release it with a little more air underneath it and let his receiver run under it, he'd love to have that throw back, but woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Nobody within 15 yards. Now Chambliss in wide to the right side. Second down and 10 under center, though. And here's a sweep coming up to the left once again. They've got the angle, 25 to the 20, and out of bounds at the 21. Wilmer Cole on the stop of Quay Stocks. Gain is down to the 21-yard line.
Here's some of the USF faithful calling for holding, and it is a good call. It's tough, though. Catch those.
Lanier is in as the one back in this wing tee. Under center, Wiggins now sets his team down. Motion near side again, gives to Lanier. Lanier's got room. Plunges inside the 15, got to the USF 14. Clock shows just over 5.5 minutes time remaining. Again, Reinhardt trying to get closer. Now they bring it tight into the game, tight to the right side. That's Gordon Dudley. Under center, though, again, Wiggins looking. Now rolls back, hands the ball off. Stocks looking and wrapped up. Stan Jackson's got him at the 15 for a loss of 1.
Nice. Great pursuit angle that time, getting in between the blockers, getting a hold of that running back, and not allowing him to go north and south. Tremendous job by the USF defense.
No gain, actually a loss of 1. Let's call it second down and 11. They'll work from the right side hash mark. They're going to bring Trevay Kane back in as the running back. They'll work from the right side hash mark, one wide to the left. Everybody else in tight. Motion to the weak side to the right. Cut up the middle and tripped up. A gain down to the 11. Look time that time they run by Mosley. Mosley got the call. So it'll be third down. They can pick up a first down at about the USF 5 with 4:41 remaining. And why is the clock stopped?
Yeah.
Why is the clock stopped?
Why are they?
Well, Pearson Harge is coming off. Evidently, somebody called it. St. Francis calls a timeout. Well, that's why.
Okay.
So the Cougars felt their defense needed a break now. It'll be third down and 6 when we return to Florida. 24-13, but Reinhardt driving when we return. Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
For Harley-Davidson, Honda, and Kawasaki, there's no place like the Ellerding family of dealerships in New Haven, now in our 52nd year. Over 300 new and used motorcycles, scooters, and ATVs, plus multi-purpose utility vehicles that tow, haul, and seat up to 6. No matter what you ride or drive, let's swap for a new one. Choose a non-current model, and qualified buyers get some of the best finance terms and years. Visit Ellerding's River City Harley-Davidson and Ellerding's Honda Kawasaki Motorsports today, just off Coliseum Boulevard on State Road 930 in New Haven, plus our gear store in Glenbrook Mall by Sears. Welcome to our family.
Spot the ball at the Cougar 11-yard line. It'll be third down and long coming up for Reinhardt as they try to cut the deficit. They trail at 24-13.
Folks, tonight's game is brought to you by the University of St. Francis, located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. USF is a private Catholic university enrolling students on campus and online. With over 70 programs from undergrad to doctoral degrees, a USF education has a lot to offer. Check out the University of St. Francis today online at sf.edu. That's sf.edu.
Clock shows 4 minutes, 41 seconds remaining. That sounds like a long time unless you're trying to hold on to a lead or you're trying to come from behind as the Eagles are here in the late going. Both teams now with 2 timeouts remaining. We mentioned the Eagles can pick up a first down at the Cougar 5. So they got 2 chances trying to pick up about 6.5 yards. Cougar crowd coming alive, wanting to see some defense here in the final seconds. They've not returned yet from the ESPN media timeout, so we continue to stand around on the field. The red jacket finally indicates, let's play football. And Vince Hayes will mark the ball ready for play. Here we go. From the right side hash mark, Wiggins looks, hands the ball off. Here's a run to the left side, and they've got him stopped at the 11, no gain. Cougars played that run well that time, and Kwani Green nowhere to run.
Great penetration that time. First and foremost, he may not have made the tackle, but he made the play, and that's Hemmelgarn through the middle, blew it up, forced him outside, and then his buddies came and wrapped him up, Jamesic and the rest of the crew.
Now this is the ball game right here. Reinhardt's got to go for it on 4th down. Wiggins rolls to the right, looking, throws as he's hit, and the ball tipped and intercepted, but it'll be St. Francis ball, and the Cougars with a key, pivotal 4th down stop, as I believe Spencer Coward came up with the ball out of bounds, but it'll be USF football with 4:06 remaining.
Fantastic job by the USF defense, coming up huge when it counted right there. They've been there all night, and again, just a hats-off job, doing a great job pressuring the quarterback and then flooding that zone with the defensive backs, and the drive stalls.
So let's see if we have another timeout down on the field. As the Cougar offense now, they've got to protect the ball, and Sean, you need a couple of first downs.
You do. Again, with Reinhardt still has a couple timeouts on the clock, so they can make things tricky and difficult here.
Justin Green back as the running back. He's run for 2 touchdowns, including an 80-yarder tonight. Blitz coming defensive right side. Green runs that way. Now cuts to the outside. And looking at the 10 and spun around and stays inbounds. Cuts back to about the 12, maybe the 13. So he'll get, for all of that running, he'll get a gain of about 2.
Green is a player for all seasons, Joe. Again, he could have easily just went out of bounds and not tried anything more. He got as far as he could, but no, he makes a twist to go down and stay in bounds. Why? Because he knows it's important to keep that clock churning.
By the way, they gave him good spot up around the 14-yard line, so that's a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Rocky James coming off the field and being a little groundskeeper, picked up something as he was coming off as well. 2 wide to the right. Ferrer out of the gun. Will he throw? Looking to give the ball off. Here's Green looking for running room. Does not find much. Has got to about the 16-yard line. That takes the clock down to 3:10. I believe Reinhardt's going to take a timeout. That'll leave them 1 remaining. So it'll be 3rd down and 4. Long 4 for St. Francis. When we return to Florida, Cougars still hanging on by the thumbnails. They've got that 24-13 lead. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
This is David X with Union Savings Bank Mortgage Department. So happy to support Bishop Lures and Bishop Dwenger student athletes who work so hard to be the best they can be. I'm here to support you too as you look for mortgage lending. If you need a home loan, pick up the phone and call me, 418-6191 anytime for low closing costs and great rates. 418-6191. I offer what you want, low closing costs and great rates. Call 418-6191. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cougars looking at a 3rd down call coming up now. Rocky James is back in, hobbled as he is, but they'll come up and press coverage on him. USF trying to reach their own 21 on this snap. Ferrer out of the pistol alignment now. Green, the running back, and here is Ferrer. Gives it off the Green, cuts to his right. Steps out of 1 tackle and fights his way to the 21, and he's got a 1st down.
Tremendous job by Justin Green. We've seen it all night. Whether he needs it or he gets more, Justin Green has been a guy you can rely on to make things happen for the Cougars.
They're going to spot that ball just short of the 22-yard line now. Reinhardt, I'm not sure they've got the clock right there, Sean. They show Reinhardt with 2 timeouts remaining. I think they only have 1.
I think you're right.
They show St. Francis with 1. I think they've got that reversed. But it's all academic right now. The clock shows 2:37 remaining. It'll be 1st and 10, USF with 16 on the play clock. They do huddle up and just trying to hold on to the football now. Casey Call comes in up in the slot to the left side. Rocky James split wide of him. Up in press coverage once again. They come on the outside. Here's Green, fights his way up the middle, breaking tackles, works to the 25, got another yard to the 26, and Justin Green going to force Reinhardt to take that timeout, or will they? The clock continues to run. It'll be 2nd down after a gain of 4. Now we're inside of 2 minutes time remaining. Little surprised at Reinhardt not trying to save time on that clock. Now we're down to 1:49. USF still stays huddled up, trying to reach their own 32-yard line. Will Green get the call once again? Ferrer has not dared the last 2 calls to put the ball in the air. Got Gigner. Here's Green, but tripped up and lost yardage back around the 23 with inside of 90 seconds remaining. So it will bring up a 3rd down and 8 call, 3rd and 9, and we will have a timeout on the field.
Timeout. Reinhardt. 30-second timeout. It's the 3rd and final timeout of the half. Reset the game clock. 40 minutes, 30 seconds.
They'll put 1:30 on the clock. Reinhardt has taken the timeout. I believe they're out of timeouts, but they still show 1. But we'll find out. 1:30 remains. It'll be 3rd down and a long 8 for St. Francis when we come back to Florida. 24-13 our score. Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
What passions do you want to pursue next in life? Do you want to be a sculptor, a volunteer, teach your grandkids to fish? As a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, Reinbold and Anderson can help you plan for the life you want today and well into the future. When you have the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Call Reinbold and Anderson at 260-432-3235. Offices located at 5750 Coventry Lane, Suite 110, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46804. Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Cougars come out once again. Now they had 12 men on the line out, and then finally Andreas Gomez-Espino sped off the field. So now Ferrer on 3rd down around. Zone blitz coming up the middle. Here's Green, cuts to his left, turns the corner, looking to get it. He's got the 1st down, stays in bounds, across the 30 to the 32. Justin Green, he's my player of the game.
I tell you what, that's exactly right, Joe. He's got my vote as well. And what a playmaker, what a difference maker he has been tonight. And it looks like Reinhardt's going to have to burn their last and final timeout here. And it's academic at this point.
Ryan Sonata will check into the game, exchanges handshakes with Justin Green, Casey Call, and there comes Sean Boswell back into the ball game. No crutch.
Look at that.
He just wants to be out there and celebrate.
Darn right.
With 1:07 and the clock is moving. Play clock is down to 15. Cougars now just needing to take a couple of snaps. Oh, it was Boswell with just a big catch at the 10 that got him going early, and then he was done for the night. It'll be a knee taken by Ferrer. And that, let's see if Reinhardt's even going to bother to take their final timeout.
No, I don't think they are.
Final 40 seconds, and what an amazing victory for St. Francis. 24 points, and then you lose your offensive people, your wide receivers. Now they're going to bring in Eli Wallace. We're down to 24 seconds on 2nd and 12. Again, Ferrer will take the knee. And there's, again, some extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Reinhardt not content to let the game end. Came in there, and they'll draw a personal foul. It'll be another 1st down. And this one academically is over with 15.2 seconds remaining.
Joe, we do have some finals here with our votes. We were exactly right. Players of the game, Justin Green, number 17 for the University of St. Francis. On the defensive side of things, number 39, Eric Dutton, takes home the big prize, Defensive Player of the Game of the 2017 NAIA National Championship.
Timeout.
Play's over. Let's go for my conduct. Number 22 in the offense. That foul stopped the clock. It'll be a 10-second runoff. Reset the game clock to 5 seconds. We'll start when I'm ready.
Well, the official said on the offense, but he thinks he means on the defense, because they're going to move the ball up to the 47. There's a 10-second runoff, and we are down to 5 seconds remaining, and it will be back-to-back national championship wins, and that is it. The Cougars, for the 2nd year in a row, are NAIA National Football Champions as the crowd streams onto the field, the Cougar faithful, and they will celebrate this hard-earned, and what a bizarre finish to this ball game, Sean, when you look at when you are out Sean Boswell, you are out Duke Blackwell, who made some tremendous catches tonight in addition to Boswell, and Rocky James not at full strength, and somehow the Cougars managed to find a victory, and they did it with a timely stop or two defensively, and Justin Green in the final series, ran where he needed to get the valuable yardage and first downs to keep the victory in Fort Wayne for a second straight year.
You know, we've heard from Coach, when he describes this team, he talks about resilience, and how resilient this squad is, and it's been proven tonight. And hats off to these kids. They have scraped and fought and held their heads high and taken the high road on many, many occasions. And it is proven results that being the good man and taking the high road and keeping your head down and working hard pays dividends. And for 2 years in a row, the University of St. Francis has proven their worth, proven their mettle, and hats off to these kids. What a tremendous, tremendous victory. And Joe, you talked about it especially tonight when the chips were down, when adversity reared its ugly head. These kids responded. And just what an incredible victory for the Cougars.
Tell you what, how about Andreas Gomez-Espino? He had a couple of key catches to keep drives alive and at least to keep that clock moving. And, the Cougars got just enough of what they needed when they needed it to get this victory wrapped up here tonight. I'll tell you what, let's take a final timeout. We'll be back with our post-game presentation. We're hoping to have a chance to check in with the Judge Phil Houck with some post-game interviews. And celebration will get started in Fort Wayne and here in Daytona Beach as the Cougars, for the second year in a row, National Football Champions. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Think of Briscoe Dentistry for your family's dental care. Dr. Todd Briscoe and team know that your body is more than just teeth and gums. Your oral health affects the performance ability of your entire body. And on the field or court, you want your body to perform at its best. So trust Dr. Briscoe and team to provide the ultimate in preventative, periodontal, orthodontic, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry. To optimize your body's performance, contact Dr. Briscoe at 260-486-9950 or on the web at briscoedentistry.com.
Everyone at the University of St. Francis congratulates the 2017 USF Cougars for a fantastic football season. We applaud all of our student athletes who take part in the 16 athletic programs at USF. We also thank the USF Marching Pride Band for their participation in this year's NAIA National Football Championship. Want to learn how you could be part of these exciting USF programs? Check it out at sf.edu.
Now, with analysis of the game, what went right and what needs some work, let's go back to the stadium with the voice of the Cougars, Joe Parson, and the Redeemer Radio sports team.
Welcome back to the Daytona Beach, Florida. With Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. We have lost our field mic, so we're hoping to check in with Judge Phil Houck sooner or later as the melee down with a lot of silver and blue celebrating this second straight national championship victory. And what was really turned out, Sean, kind of a bizarre football game. Started out as the Cougars got a chance to get on the board on a muff punt attempt return by Reinhardt. They took over at the 30-yard line, and a big catch by Sean Boswell at the 10-yard line would lead to a Gavin Gardner field goal, 22 yards, and the Cougars were off to a 3-0 lead. That was interesting because Boswell, that would be his last play of the game as well, as he picked up an injury and his night was done. Then Reinhardt with a chance to tie the ball game as they got the ball down into Cougar territory. But you look at Nick Marquez, who hit a 48-yard field goal 2 weeks ago to send the game to overtime, but missed from 31 yards out, and the Cougars took over still in a 3-0 lead at their own 20-yard line. And one play later, Mr. Green, Justin Green. Ironically, he does not get 3 rushing touchdowns tonight. That would be the third time in as many years against the Reinhardt with 3 rushing touchdowns. He's going to have to settle for 2 tonight, and the big one of 80 yards with a cut to the right side at the 5-10 mark made it 10-0 in favor of USF. Barrera would find a pay dirt as he found Blackwell, who got injured later in the ball game. 16 yards at the 41-second mark of the first quarter. Cougars often running out to a 17-0 lead. Green again would push that lead out to 24-0 on a 10-yard touchdown run with a cut to his right side at the 12-20 mark. Gardner with the extra point, 24-0. That would be it. USF would not score a single point the rest of the way. It would be Trevay Kane at the 8:29 mark of the third quarter, getting the end zone touchdown for the Eagles to make it 24-7. Marquez added the extra point. And then the USF did get a fourth down stop, but eventually Reinhardt would get the ball back, and it would be Quay Stocks on a sweep as he would take it 3 yards into the end zone at the 5:06 mark of the third quarter. The extra point was no good, so that made it advantage St. Francis by 11 at 24-13. Cougars had a big fourth down stop with 4:40 remaining in the ball game. In Green with a couple of talented runs, not a lot of yardage, but enough yardage to pick up first downs. We talked about Andreas Gomez Espino, who had a couple of big catches earlier in this second half as well. And the Cougars got some defense, timely defense when they needed it. They got the stop, and they hold on to win this 2017 National Championship 24-13.
The melee continues down there, and the trophy is getting hoisted up and touched by as many players as they possibly can right now. Nothing official, as there's going to be presentations a little bit later on. But again, looking back again at this squad and especially this game, Joe, the standouts they shone brightly, and hats off. Yeah, Coach Donley is. I tell you, when he talked about it at halftime, if we can stuff them for a couple of punts in the second half, we're going to get out of this thing. And how prophetic was that? And he's exactly right. And he knows this team. He knows these players. And how excited he must be for a back-to-back national championship.
And remember, he talked about losing both Boswell and Blackwell, that he had to put some guys in unfamiliar spots as inside receivers. Well, we got to coach him up a little bit. and maybe Andreas Gomez Espino was one of those, because he came through with a couple of catches when USF really needed it.
Darn right, yeah. And that's what you see throughout. Stops by Dutton, by Harnish, Hemmelgarn blowing up the middle and pressuring those quarterbacks, and Stan Jackson and Coward. The guys in the backfield, Lee Stewart, all those guys just really doing a great job shutting down the offense from Reinhardt when it was absolutely positively necessary. Did they bend? You bet they did. Did they break? Absolutely not. And that is what champions are made of. And so again, these guys, boy, just what a blessing they are for this university and the Fort Wayne community.
Well, you look at Reinhardt, and they are going to be a team to contended with in the future. Obviously, Billy Hall, a freshman. He'll have 3 years back remaining. Dylan Wiggins, a sophomore, came in there after Hall was injured in the ball game. Trevay Kane is just a redshirt freshman. And they've got, Lanier, a redshirt freshman. So they've got a lot of weapons coming back. And you know that Reinhardt's going to run the football in the years ahead. You look at St. Francis, what a way to end the careers for Nick Ferrer, the NAIA National Player of the Year, as he gets the job here done tonight at quarterback. And you got to feel also great for Eric Hemmelgarn. Comes away with the national championship ring once again, the 6'5", 320-pound senior. So just mentioning a couple of those seniors, you look at Spencer Coward, who has been one of the mainstays for the last 3 years in that Cougar secondary. Spencer Coward, 6'2", senior, 195, and it goes on and on. You just celebrate the victory. The seniors, I know, had a special place in Kevin Donley's heart. They changed the culture at St. Francis for football. Kevin Donley's talked about that several times, and great to see them come out with a two-peat national championship.
Yeah, and it's important, too. These guys don't often get enough credit, and really it all starts up front. And when you talk about the seniors, guys like Alex Woods, Jalen Gamble, Connor Holcomb, these are the big uglies up front that keep the playmakers safe and keep guys like Nick Ferrer putting up insane numbers and giving opportunities to guys like Justin Green to become an All-American. And, guys like Sean Boswell, who, again, went out injured on the last series right there. What an incredible little warrior he is.
That kid's going to play UCF, or the wrestling, what is it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I don't get out much.
And guys like Zach Gagner, I call him the big fella, from the tight end position. His senior game, just doing a fine job. And so, hats off. That's just what a wonderful class this is, and what a legacy they will leave for the underclassmen.